Worldwide Women Speakers. We coach, speak, and train on purpose. Connect with us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com.
Welcome to It's My Season TeleConference, sponsored by Worldwide Women Speakers. We coach, speak, and train on purpose. I am your host for today, R.J. Jackson, the Courage Giver. Inspiring you, that's what we do. Inspiring you to live your best life ever. We have your answers in a safe place for professional, personal, and spiritual development. We have the answers you need to succeed. We want to say welcome and thank you so much for joining us today. It's our pleasure to speak life into your life. Now, we're going to throw out the safety net for you. And as we do, we want to invite you to dive in deep so that you can come up to the top with the answers, solutions, tools, hope, encouragement that you need, not to mention a new coach, mentor, and plenty of friends. We want to inspire you to take action. So get your pen and paper out. You are going to want to take notes. Now, we want to encourage you not just to take notes on a piece of paper, but take notes on your heart, so that you'll be reminded of how to put into action those things that you will hear today that will inspire you to live your best life ever. This is your season, and we want to remind you it's time. It's time to get up, get dressed, and show up. The world awaits your greatness. And you, my sister, have kept them waiting long enough. So if you're ready to take action, if you're ready to dive into this season, it's time. Because this is your season to be healed. This is your season to be set free. This is your season to be anointed and appointed. It's your season to be empowered for advances, for promotions. It's your season to prosper. You have been overlooked long enough. This is your season. This is your season of grace and favor. This is your season to reap what you've sown. This is your season. Listen, God is changing the season for you. He's changing the season from sorrow and pain and struggling to joy, to abundance and prosperity. This is your season. I dare you, I challenge you to say, I'm not going to live just to endure each season, but I'm going to live life to the fullest. Resolve today to live not just to endure each season, but to live your life to the fullest. This is your season. This is the season of suddenly. And suddenly there came a mighty rushing wind. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready for the overflow, because this is your season. And it's in the overflow that things happen. We believe that in everything, to everything, there is a season. We want to remind you as we share with you words of hope and possibility. Don't be weary in well-doing, for in due season you will reap if you don't give up. Instead of giving up, get up and show up. The world awaits your greatness. Let's go ahead. The net has been laid out. You are safe. Let's dive in. Welcome once again to the It's My Season teleconference. I dare you, I dare you, I dare you. Just say it. Just say it. It's my season. Come on, like you mean it. It's my season. One more time. It's my season. It's a new season. It's a great time to do something new, something bold, and something beautiful. This is your season. Hey, and since this is your season, I want you to know that regardless of what the circumstances of the seasons are, listen, you and I can change. In the midst of any circumstance, we can change. I don't believe seasons change, but I sure do believe people can change. So if you're ready for change, if you're ready to declare that this is your season, then the next 30 minutes will change your life. As empowerment specialist, motivator, mother, educator, roadblock destroyer, and lover of life, Sharon Ann Marie empowers you to discover the power within yourself. Now, like most women, she's experienced hard trials and tribulations that women and teen girls go through. Listen, she has suffered eating disorders, depression, bad relationship choices. You name it, as a woman, she probably can say, been there, done that. But the great thing about it is she's taken her pain, turned it into passion, and as a result of what she's learned, she has new strategies that she has discovered, and she now lives to her full potential. She wants you to do the same. As she reminds you and I, as sisters, we are not alone. Listen, winter, spring, summer, fall, sometimes it really does appear as if it's raining through them all. Today, Sharon, the mother, the educator, the empowerment specialist, she's going to tell us her story. Because you know what? Sometimes people think, you don't know what I'm going through. You don't understand. You don't have no problems. You don't have no difficulties. But today, Sharon's going to tell us about life, her experience, and what you and I can do in order to be the best person that we were created to be. So, Sharon, empowerment specialist, girl, what's your story? Tell us, if you will, please, a time in your life that was difficult for you to get through. Do you have one of those times?
Do I? Hello, beautiful queens. I hope you are all blessed. Well, Miss RJ, I can remember a time, and it is the most pivotal time in my life. It was raining every day, it seemed, in my life. Within a short period, my mother had been diagnosed with cancer. My father was diagnosed with cancer. My daughter developed this strange illness they couldn't figure out, and everybody was getting sick around me, and then it made me sick. And then I ended up having 2 stress-induced heart attacks, had to have a hysterectomy. I lost my home, my marriage fell apart, and I had to start all over. Talk about rain. And that just kept coming and coming and coming straight, one after the other, for in a short period of 8 months. Like, can you imagine?
I can't even imagine, because it sounds like you had an entire season of raining. And as you were sharing, and first of all, let me thank you for sharing and for being transparent and authentic. As you were sharing and you were talking about the rain, I couldn't help but think of Washington, the state of Washington, where it just rains all the time, right? It just seemed like the sun never shines, and sometimes in life, it seems like that for us. And you just finished describing a season after season after season of rain. How did you get through it? What did you do to even see a glimpse of the sunshine? Or did you see the sunshine in the midst of the rain?
I have to tell you, it was a difficult time because it's kind of like Alaska, when it has 6 months of darkness and 6 months of sun. In this case, it was just constant rain. And I had to really step back and say, I keep getting God's wake-up call every day. Every day he kept saying, I'm not finished with you. It's raining. The storm is hard. And I had to stop, RJ, and just say, you know what? God is putting me through this for a purpose. I don't understand what it is, but I'm thankful. So I had to start being thankful. I started to have an attitude of gratitude, as you'd say, and I was thankful. I was thankful that I was able to open up my eyes. And although my parents were sick, I still had my parents. I was able to help them. I was able to help me as best I could. And when I couldn't, I just kept thankful. And it just kept giving thanks. I know it sounds crazy, but what am I thankful for? But I still kept waking up. I still kept knowing that there was something greater beyond the storm, and God did not want me to give up. So I gave thanks instead of living in my pity. And here I stand today to tell my testament.
Sometimes when it's raining, we have a tendency of singing the song, rain, rain, go away, come back on another day. But it's amazing when even in the midst of the rain, we can have reasons to be grateful and celebrate. And joy and gratitude are always great reasons to live with. And even in the midst of the rain, we can see the sunshine. Like, have you ever been in the rain and the sun was still shining?
Most definitely.
That's what you just described with your attitude of gratitude and how to get through. So what I heard you say, Miss Empowerment Specialist, is that even in the midst of the rain, season your season with gratitude. Put some gratitude on it, and you can lick your fingers and say, taste and see, this is good. I love it. I love it. So there's a way to get through. There are things that we can do, even in the midst of the rain, in the midst of the pain. We don't have to die where we're living. We don't have to live where we're dying. I hear what you're saying. So let me ask you this. Besides gratitude, what are the other keys that will help us successfully get through any season?
I love that question. For me, one of the most important keys is to ask for help. And I know a lot of times we don't want to bother people. We don't want them to be in our personal lives, and we don't want to upset people. But asking for help helped me to survive. It helped me to realize I was not alone. So I just said, please, can you help me, whether it's just to listen, whether it's just to go out, to do something. Another key strategy was to realize that it's okay to be in this state. So not everything's going to be happy all the time. And it's a time for you to kind of stop and reflect and say, this sucks right now, but this is what I'm going to do, and set a plan and goals to move forward, small ones, to get you out of where you're at. So ask for help and know that it's okay to be where you are. You might not like it, but there is a reason you are there. Reflection, to slow you down sometimes, to make you see things that you didn't want to see, because we're not always still when God is talking to us. We keep going and ignoring what he's saying. So sometimes it is teaching us to just be in that moment, reflect, and move forward, small, but to move forward. Make sense?
So what I hear you saying is learn some lessons while we're there.
That's it. Learn some lessons. Stories that you can tell and be here like me giving a testament.
It sounds easy sometimes. Well, just ask for help, but I think we've been taught, especially as women, like what goes on here stays here, and, don't be putting your business out in the street. So sometimes it really does get difficult to ask for help, and then we have to prove that we're this person. We could do it. I got this kind of thing. I got an S on my chest, So help us through that. Help us walk through that asking for help? Like,
well,
what does it say when we don't ask for help? What does it say about us when we do ask for help?
I love that question, by the way. When we don't ask for help, okay, so first of all, as you were saying, RJ, we as women have been taught to wear this S on our chest. It is so draining. It's so deflating because not even superheroes take breaks. They're not being superheroes 24 hours. They take breaks. If you watch the movies, they sleep, they eat, they have different costumes in the day. They take their time. And we as women, when we don't ask for help, we get sick. I know I started to get sick, and that's why I ended up with those heart attacks and having to have that hysterectomy because I just was trying to be this superwoman, and my body just gave way. So you will get sick. You will start to shut down emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, and we can't do that as women because we are so needed in this world. And we're so afraid to be vulnerable. We're so afraid to break that cycle of, oh, my gosh, people are going to judge me. What are they going to think? Sometimes that means you don't have to reach out to people you know. It can just be, I'm going to go to church, or I'm going to go somewhere and just start talking to someone. Pick up the phone and call a counselor, call somebody doesn't know you so that you won't feel there's any type of judgment. But we have to be vulnerable. We have to allow ourselves to be open to asking for that help because it is a long, dark road when you feel alone. And when you finally ask for help, everyone's like, oh, girl, I've been through that, and this is what I did. And it gives you that power. It allows you to stand tall, realizing I'm not the only one that is dealing with this, and that this too shall pass because I'm not the only one. People will give you strategies. People will reach out to you. People will just exist and be in your presence. Just allow them to come in so you can receive the help and the peace that you need rather than trying to do it all yourself. It's too much. It's too much.
We weren't created to do it alone. We weren't. Right. God did not design it to be that way. And for those of you who are listening who's struggling with asking for help, but at the same time feeling like you're all alone, don't nobody understand, it's just me, let us help you with that. Let me just say this one thing. Girl, I'm working on it too. So you're not alone. We have to ask for help. We really need each other to survive. And thinking of surviving, your mother had cancer, your dad had cancer, your daughter was sick, you had 2 heart attacks, you lost your home, and yet you survived. You're here to tell us all about it. What season are you in now? Like, this is your season. And what does your season look like right now?
Honestly, I am in spring. I have learned to ask for help, and now I'm that little tiny shrub that's pushing its head through the ground in the crisp, that crisp spring morning, kind of looking around and be like, okay, I got this. I see some people over there, and I'm going to try my hand in this. I'm going to go over here and grow, and I'm going to spread myself underground and go over here and grow. So when I decide to fully bloom, oh, my gosh, how beautiful my petals are going to be, and it's just going to shine on me. So I'm in that little spring mode. It's just what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? Taking in that rain, nourishing my mind, nourishing my soul and my body with people like you, Audrey, and other people, and asking for that help so that when I do grow, the roots are solid. They're in that ground with foundation. So I'm springing into action right now. That's my vision.
I love it, Sharon. I really love and appreciate how you just don't tell us as an empowerment special what we need to do, but what you're doing as well. You don't just say, hey, lady, ask for help, but you're like, no, I asked for help. Here's what it did for me, and I want to encourage you to ask for help too. That's totally transparent and authentic. So thank you so much for that. We all have seasons, and I said this earlier, I don't believe seasons change. I believe people change, because the truth is spring is always going to come what we say or do, spring is always going to come before summer. So seasons don't change. They are consistent in what they do, but people can change. So let me ask you this. Do you think it's possible that every season can be our season? Because we say this is your season. Can every season be our season?
Okay. I think every season can be your season, but you might have a season that's your best season. How about that? So I may have a really good spring and a really good summer, but I've had to step back a little bit in the winter, and I'm still doing great things, but it's not as big as the fall. So not every single season, just like life, is going to be straight uphill and happy all the time. No, but I could still be doing great things during each of those seasons, whether it's like winter. Things go underground. That's what you can do. Go underground. Take some time. Go to the spa. Do some self-care. Do something that you haven't done before. So when it comes time to, like you say, spring, you're ready to look in, tap in, and do different things so that you can keep growing until you become, like all the other seasons. But I do believe you can do well in all seasons, but just at different levels. So I don't want to say you can't
do
well.
Great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, great point. Different levels. I love that. It just reminds me of sometimes in the winter, the sun shines and you have a really nice day in the middle of winter, and the next day it snows, right?
Right.
And like here, like in California, like you'll have this really nice spring, then all of a sudden it'll be like winter weather, right?
Right.
But I love what you said. You dress or you act accordingly. However, you just keep moving. You don't just go, oh, I can't live today. It's cold. Good words of wisdom, Sharon. I really appreciate how you tell us as women to do self-care, to take care of ourselves no matter what season we're in. I love that. It's like, take care of you before you can take care of anyone else. And as women, we're always trying to take care of other people, right? And we neglect ourselves. So no matter what season we're in, what can we do as women to actually take care of ourselves?
Well, you know what? Number one thing, women, beautiful queens, princesses, anyone on the phone, you need to schedule time for yourself. We schedule time to go to the dentist and the doctor and to do this, but we can't schedule time for ourselves. And you need to have it in your calendar and operate it just as such. Do you say 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock? 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock is for you. Whether you go for a walk, whether you have a bath, whether you read a book, whether you just turn off all electronics for that hour, dedicate it to yourself. Empower yourself. Read a great book. Talk to someone that's going to empower you. Listen to a podcast. I mean, people tell me to read, but I would rather listen to a podcast because I'm like in the car, woo, you get more out of it. But you need to schedule time that is only for you. The rest of the world can wait. They really can. Your daughter, son, husband, anyone else who's knocking on the door, they can wait an hour. They can wait. Take that time.
1 hour.
Mind, 1 hour.
Wow. So, let me just help you out. In case you didn't hear what she said. She just eliminated every and any excuse you could ever come up with of why you cannot take care of yourself. 1 hour. Just take 1 hour. I'm going to challenge you and encourage you to do that starting today. Take 1 hour and take care of you. And watch the sun shine in this season, because this is your season. This is it. This is your time to shine. So take care of you. Thank you for that. Those words of encouragement and those words of challenge to push us to the next level, to help us get to the place where we're supposed to be, because sometimes we didn't get dressed properly for this season. So thank you for that, Sharon. Really appreciate it. do you believe that we can actually waste a season in our life? If so, what does that mean, wasting a season? And if you don't feel we can't waste a season, talk to us actually about that.
Well, when we think about wasting is not doing something with your time. Wasting is throwing things away. Do I believe you can waste a season? It depends on your mindset. If your mindset is of such and you talk like I'm wasting a season and you lie on your couch and you do nothing, I wouldn't say that it's a waste. I would say it's more a reflection of how you're feeling and your body needing to take a break. Sometimes you just need to stop. Is that a waste? No. For people who are go, they might say that it's a waste, but it's not. It's that taking time for yourself. And if you don't take the time, as you know, you'll burn out. And some people need that, let's put in air quotes, that wasting of time just to regenerate, just to get themselves back into the mindset. I can do this, but I'm tired. So am I wasting, or am I really listening to what my body is telling me? Stop. You need this time. Come back when you're ready. Because it doesn't make sense to go, and then crash, and then where have you been? You didn't take that time. So I don't believe that it is a waste. I believe that we have to learn to listen to our bodies. We have to learn to know when it's okay to say no. It's okay to say yes, and when and in which season to do so. So, no, I don't believe it's a waste, because everybody has different people, and you just got to do for you. And whether people think it's a waste, that's for them to deal with, not you. You do what you feel you need to do and just regenerate. So I don't believe in that as a waste, no.
So once again, I hear you saying, put your mask on. Don't worry about other people. Take care of you. Now, if you didn't get that message, which she has given us over and over and over again, we're just going to stop. We're going to take a pause for the cause so you can write that down. Take care of me. That's what we can commit to doing today, taking care of ourselves. Don't consider taking care of yourself, taking a pause for the cause, a waste of time. It's necessary. It's necessary, my sister. Stop beating yourself up because you sat down for a minute. Stop beating yourself up because you told someone no.
Right. Can
Take care of you.
Yeah.
No, don't interject. Just speak, girl. Yeah. Just go. Say it.
It's so important that I try to tell ladies, you can't be responsible for somebody else's feelings because you are the one that is in that moment. So if they're upset that you said no, they'll be okay. They'll get over it. Because for me, the reason why I ended up with the hysterectomy and those 2 stress-induced heart attacks because I didn't stop. And I went into my body, said, I cannot do it anymore. That's that. You know what? I'm going to shut you down. And it shut me down. And I didn't listen the first time, but I sure as heck listened the second time. So you have to just say, no, this isn't going to work for me because I'm really tired. So I'm going to stop and take a break because I need that. I know you may need things from me, but me, Sharon, right now, I need this. I'll hit you back when I'm a little bit more refreshed. Okay? All right. Talk to you later. And keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
That's it. Take time for you.
Take time for you. You got that? Without the guilt. Without the guilt. Have a piece of chocolate cake while you're taking time for you. It's for you. You know what to do after you've eaten that cake. If you need to walk it off, walk it off. You need some planks, plank it, baby. But listen, enjoy the season because this is your season. This is it. So tell us, Sharon, because we need to hear just a little bit more. What words of encouragement can you give to us to help us make it through or transition from one season to the next and or to enjoy the season we're in?
Wow, that's a beautifully loaded question. First, in order to enjoy the season you're in, you have to be present. Too many times we are thinking about, okay, what am I going to do in 6 weeks? What am I going to do in 8 weeks? When today you just did something miraculous and we didn't have time to celebrate. Stop, be in the moment, and celebrate those small wins. And when a storm starts to come your way, believe me when I tell you, queens, that this too shall pass. It will feel like it's the worst, as some of you know, like you're not going to make it, but you will. There is always a light at the end of the tunnel. Seems long, but there is. So don't give up. Do not give in. Empower yourself. Surround yourself with people who are going to uplift you, move you forward. All of those negative naysayers, let them go. Cut them. Nip, snip. See you later. Bye, Felicia. Because you cannot grow in negativity. You cannot grow in negativity. You hear when I said bye, Felicia? Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Yes. So
I'm really laughing at the cut 'em.
That's it. Cut 'em.
I will cut you right loose.
Right loose. You don't let 'em go. You don't let them go, you can't grow. You have to be the best you, the best you. So when you're down, read a book, listen to a podcast. Let somebody else do the work that you can't do at that moment. And there's lots of people out there to help empower you. Just do it. Just know you will get through, and you will stand tall, and you will be better for it because you stopped. You're in that moment. You're learning the lessons, which I didn't say. Learn what have I learned? What are you trying to show me? Are you trying to show me I'm doing too much? Are you trying to show me I need to slow down? Are you trying to show me I need to go to my bed and sleep? What are you trying to show me? Listen, be still, learn, this too shall pass. Have an attitude of gratitude. I know I'm giving you a lot here, people. Write it down. But be thankful. Be thankful for everything that is happening to you because you are about to embark on something that is so bigger than you will ever imagine. If you stop during the storm, you're going to miss the beauty once you get through it. So hold on tight, grab something and say, woo-wee, I'm going for the ride, and take it. And when you get to the end and you stop and you see all that beauty and all that glory, you'll be like, ooh, that ride was long, but it was good. And I'm standing here to walk off and talk about it. So you've got this, ladies. You've got this.
Because this is your season. And as you talk about rides, wow, you just took us on a journey that was amazingly awesome. You know, it was better than waiting in line. Sometimes in life we wait and we wait and we wait and we get on a ride and bam, it's over like that. But what you're talking about is enjoying the ride itself. Like, It's your season to do that, my sister. It's your season. So let me just sum up what Sharon have shared with us today. And hopefully, as she said, you have written it down. Not just on your paper, but on your heart, so that when we're done, you are just getting started. And you are getting started by taking action. What's the first thing she shared with us to do today? Be thankful. No matter what season you're in, celebrate with gratitude. It's the best attitude. Don't ever fail to ask for help. Someone's waiting to partner with you in what you need in order to succeed. Hey, listen, did you hear her say, take small steps, reflect, and while you're where you're at, learn the lesson? Perhaps over and over and over again, you wrote it down on your heart as many times as she said it. Take time for yourself. Be present in the moment. Celebrate the small wins. And whatever you're going through, remember this. This too shall pass. Because this, my friend, is your season. So, Sharon, thank you for speaking from your heart, but uplifting our heart and reminding us that no matter what we go through, God has a plan, and that's a plan for a future and a hope, and letting us know that no matter what season we are in, that this is our season. is not going to waste, that God wants to use our pain and turn it into purpose, and it is time for us to wake up, get dressed, and show up. Let's remind the women who are listening that there's greatness inside of each and every one of you, and the world awaits your greatness. Don't forget, this is your season, and it's time to show up.
When was the last time that you have been at the top of your to-do list? How many times have you silenced the small voice inside? Now is the time for a Simply New Me. Let empowerment specialist Sharon Ann Marie of simplyanewme.com help you to make what you thought impossible possible and to discover the true power of you. Contact Sharon at simplyanewme.com to purify your life.
It's your season. I keep trying to tell you, girl. I don't care what it looks like. I don't even care what you're going through. This is your season. This is the moment you've been waiting for, hoping for, living for. This is it. It's here. This is your season. I just have one question for you. Now that it's here, your season, do you have a strategy, plan? Do you have a plan for success? Or is your plan just simply outdated? Has it been sitting around collecting dust, and now that your season is here, it's almost ready to pass you by and leave you high and dry? Listen, girl, this is your season. It's time to stop winging it. It's time to work your plan and plan your work. So let's go. Now, I'm not sure where you're going, but I do know this, that the law of attraction coach, Angela Denise, she's going to help you get there. In the next 30 minutes, she's going to encourage you to put your umbrella away, get your pen and paper out so that you can create a plan of success. It's time. This is your season. Yes, seasons come and seasons go. Winter, spring, summer, fall. No doubt, no doubt. If you're like me, it's been raining through them all. Why? Because life happens. And it happens to us all. No exception to the rule, girl. Life happens. Now, if you don't believe me, let's just ask Miss Angela. That life happens, and it happens to all of us.
Yes, life happens to all of us.
It happens. So if it happens to all of us, tell us about a rainy season that has happened to you, even as a law of attraction coach, even as a life coach. We know life has happened to you. You've had rainy seasons too. Talk to us. Tell us about one of those times.
My rainy season was a few years back when I was going through a separation and divorce. That was one of the hardest times in my life that I really had to find my way, find out who I was, and really regroup myself. So that was one of my hardest seasons, because when you think that you're going to be together forever and then life happens, things happen, it really just takes you for a loop, and you really have to regroup and get started all over again.
So you shared that your season involved love, relationship, connection, and it came to a point where it started raining. You had to figure out, like, who am I, because it wasn't working. Did you have, like, thunderstorms in your life where you felt like not worthy, like something was wrong? Did you go through that season in the midst of your season that you were going through? And if so, talk to us about what that's like and what we should do if we have those experiences in our season that we feel unworthy.
Yes, I did go through that. I started asking myself, is there something wrong with me? Is it something that I did? And I really had to find out who I was. I really had to build myself up and find my true love for myself and realize that it's not me. It's nothing that's wrong with me. Everything that I need is inside of me, and I can do this. I really had to be a self-motivator for myself in order to keep on moving forward.
So if someone's listening right now and they're thinking perhaps they are in that season of going through a divorce or a separation and they're feeling there's something wrong with me, I failed, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, what would you say to them?
I would say start taking those negative thoughts and turn them into positive thoughts. I had to put myself in a position where I had to be positive. I had to push away any negative people in my life, and then also change my thought process to be positive as well, too. So I would say turn it around. Stop saying what you're not and start saying who you are. And if you start speaking positive words over yourself and over your life, you will begin starting to see the shift of being positive, and then you will start seeing the shift of moving forward and moving into a more positive light.
So is that something you practice during that season? Is that what helped you get through the rough rains and the floods and all the things that come along with the rain? What helped you actually get through?
Well, first, it was my faith. My faith in God helped me to get through, just with me praying and just with me going to church and just, being around people of faith and then being around positive people. Also, what I would do is a lot of times when we go through things as women, we start to change or redecorate or cut off our hair. It's just different things that we may do. Well, what I did, I redecorated my house, and everything that I got was positive. Everything said something towards happiness, towards faith, towards family. Everything surrounded me, words and everything was about positivity, nothing negative. Anyone that would say something negative to me, I would stop them immediately because I know I needed to surround myself with positivity and then also be faithful as well to God and just to be able to just get through that process.
It's your season. I keep trying to tell you, girl. I don't care what it looks like. I don't even care what you're going through. This is your season. This is the moment you've been waiting for, hoping for, living for. This is it. It's here. This is your season. I just have one question for you. Now that it's here, your season, do you have a strategy, plan? Do you have a plan for success? Or is your plan just simply outdated? Has it been sitting around collecting dust, and now that your season is here, it's almost ready to pass you by and leave you high and dry? Listen, girl, this is your season. It's time to stop winging it. It's time to work your plan and plan your work. So let's go. Now, I'm not sure where you're going, but I do know this, that the law of attraction coach, Angela Denise, she's going to help you get there. In the next 30 minutes, she's going to encourage you to put your umbrella away, get your pen and paper out so that you can create a plan of success. It's time. This is your season. Yes, seasons come and seasons go. Winter, spring, summer, fall. No doubt, no doubt. If you're like me, it's been raining through them all. Why? Because life happens. And it happens to us all. No exception to the rule, girl. Life happens. Now, if you don't believe me, let's just ask Miss Angela. That life happens, and it happens to all of us.
Yes, life happens to all of us.
It happens. So if it happens to all of us, tell us about a rainy season that has happened to you, even as a law of attraction coach, even as a life coach. We know life has happened to you. You've had rainy seasons too. Talk to us. Tell us about one of those times.
My rainy season was a few years back when I was going through a separation and divorce. That was one of the hardest times in my life that I really had to find my way, find out who I was, and really regroup myself. So that was one of my hardest seasons, because when you think that you're going to be together forever and then life happens, things happen, it really just takes you for a loop, and you really have to regroup and get started all over again.
So you shared that your season involved love, relationship, connection, and it came to a point where it started raining. You had to figure out, like, who am I, because it wasn't working. Did you have, like, thunderstorms in your life where you felt like not worthy, like something was wrong? Did you go through that season in the midst of your season that you were going through? And if so, talk to us about what that's like and what we should do if we have those experiences in our season that we feel unworthy.
Yes, I did go through that. I started asking myself, is there something wrong with me? Is it something that I did? And I really had to find out who I was. I really had to build myself up and find my true love for myself and realize that it's not me. It's nothing that's wrong with me. Everything that I need is inside of me, and I can do this. I really had to be a self-motivator for myself in order to keep on moving forward.
So if someone's listening right now and they're thinking perhaps they are in that season of going through a divorce or a separation, and they're feeling there's something wrong with me, I failed, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, what would you say to them?
I would say start taking those negative thoughts and turn them into positive thoughts. I had to put myself in a position where I had to be positive. I had to push away any negative people in my life, and then also change my thought process to be positive as well, too. So I would say turn it around. Stop saying what you're not and start saying who you are. And if you start speaking positive words over yourself and over your life, you will begin starting to see the shift of being positive, and then you will start seeing the shift of moving forward and moving into a more positive light.
So is that something you practice during that season? Is that what helped you get through the rough rains and the floods and all the things that come along with the rain? What helped you actually get through?
Well, first, it was my faith. My faith in God helped me to get through, just with me praying and just with me going to church and just, being around people of faith, and then being around positive people. Also, what I would do is a lot of times when we go through things as women, we start to change or redecorate or cut off our hair. It's just different things that we may do. Well, what I did, I redecorated my house, and everything that I got was positive. Everything said something towards happiness, towards faith, towards family. Everything surrounded me, words and everything was about positivity, nothing negative. Anyone that would say something negative to me, I would stop them immediately, because I know I needed to surround myself with positivity and then also be faithful as well to God, and just to be able to just get through that process.
So that's pretty difficult to do sometimes, because sometimes people around us are just naturally negative. And because they're negative and it's kind of all we know, we kind of fall into that puddle, and we find ourselves slipping and sliding instead of being balanced. So, Angela, how can a person get to that point where they can say, no, stop, I got boundaries? Like, what kind of strategy is necessary to be able to do that?
What you have to really do is to change your mindset first. You really have to build a self-love for yourself, and you have to change your mindset and know that any time that someone is negative, then you make that conscious decision to move away, to walk away. To, if someone's on the phone with you and they start talking negative, then you go ahead and politely end the conversation. If someone is around you and you're talking to them and they start saying something negative, then you politely excuse yourself. Once you start to do that, many times people start to catch on, and they realize that, oh, she does not have time for gossip. She does not have time for negativity. They will begin to catch on. But then also, too, because you're also releasing that into the atmosphere, really, the positivity and everything like that, they will stop even bringing that negative to you, unless they just really don't know you, and then you just have to use that process again. But it's definitely about mindset. It's definitely about positioning yourself and making sure that you just say no, just politely in the conversations, and eventually people will catch on. But it definitely is a process to get there. And every day you have to be conscious of what you're doing, what you're saying, and what you have going in and what you have coming out.
You know, they say that's so true, that what goes in a man is definitely, or a woman, is going to come out. So we do have to position ourselves. Great words of wisdom. I'm hoping, my sister, as you're listening, that you wrote that down. Position yourself so that what you expect is going in. So it's not only going in, but it's coming out. And it's coming out of you first, as Angela stated, and then it's coming out of other people because it's what you expect. I tell you, write that down. Write it down. You're going to need that very shortly. Write that down. So when we talk about balance and being healthy, Angela, and starting with ourselves, I hear that so often. Take care of you. Take care of you. When seasons go from one season to another, from one circumstance to another, how do we care for ourselves? Like, what should we do to make sure, actually, we are caring for ourselves, that our eating habits and our sleep patterns, like, what are some tips of success you can give to help us during the season maintain healthy balance?
You have to really think of self first. Basically, when you're thinking of self and self-love for yourself, because you can't take care of anybody else. If you have kids, you can't take care of them effectively unless you're first taking care of yourself. You need to make sure that you're healthy, that you're healthy in mind, that you're healthy in body, and that you're healthy in soul, in order for you to be healthy, in order to take care of your kids or take care of your loved ones. So I always used to remember my mom used to always say, no matter what you're going through, always make sure that you're looking nice. Always make sure that you're looking good. So I always had that in my mind that, okay, if I get up and I didn't feel so great, or if I got up and I maybe felt down, then I need to at least get up, do my hair, put on something nice, and look good, even though I may be going through something. You always want to make sure that you take care of yourself, that you be conscious when you wake up in the morning, you put on something nice. You go out the door and you look through that, okay, is this something that is going to nourish my body and not negatively affect my body? So you have to think about yourself and making sure that you're taking care of yourself in order for you to effectively take care of anyone else.
Okay, so that has raised several questions for me to ask you and a comment. So I need your help. Okay. You talk up the door. Now, I am in the midst of the storm. My umbrella is turned upside down because the wind is blowing so hard. What you mean? I'm no mind reader, but I can hear somebody saying it right now. What you mean go out the door? Girl, I can't even get out the bed because that's how hard it is. That's how tough the wind is blowing and knocking me down. I don't even want to get up out the bed. What you mean get dressed and look nice? I feel terrible. What would you say to that person who needs to hear your words that says, even in the midst of the season, you can take care of yourself? How? How can they take care of themselves when they can't even get up, let alone get dressed?
I think,
what's needed?
When you get knocked down, you have to, no matter what, you have to get up. You have to get out of that bed. You have to go and get dressed. You have to make some things happen. But that's where the positive thoughts come into play. If you're in the bed and you're just thinking negative and you're down on yourself, start speaking positive thoughts. Start saying, I'm going to get up. Start one step at a time, okay? I'm going to get up out this bed. Let me lift myself up, one leg first, the second leg, and get up. Start there, okay? Now I'm going to go and I'm going to get dressed. And talk yourself through it. Talk yourself through it step by step by step until you get to that point of where you want to be. But you're going to have to be that self-motivator, because a lot of times when you're going through something, it may not be someone else around that's going to say, hey, you need to get up. Hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to go to work. It may not be anyone else around but you, and you have to be that cheerleader, that self-motivator for yourself. So if you got to talk yourself through it every step of the way, be positive every step of the way, you eventually get up out the bed, put some clothes on, get something to eat, and get out the house. But you have to, anytime you're knocked down, you got to get up. You got to move forward.
Because it doesn't matter how many times you've been knocked down. It matters how many times you get back up. And the longest mile was reached one step at a time. Good stuff, girlfriend. Good stuff. You have to. If you're listening, you have to get up. Even if you got up out of the bed, but you're still waddling in the puddle, get up. You have to get up. And why do you have to get up? Because what you are going through, your pain, is going to be created into a purpose for someone else to have hope. That's why. So get up. So let me ask you, thank you for those wonderful words of encouragement. I can see somebody right now getting up and getting on their best dress. Thank you for that. Let me ask you another question quickly based on what you said. You said self first. take care of you first. Now, my question is, isn't that selfish?
No, it's not selfish. And the reason because if you're not taking care of you, then you cannot take care of anyone else. You may think that you are taking care of them, but you're not taking care of them effectively and how you should be, because if you're down and you're out, then guess what? Your kids are seeing that. If you're down and you're out, your family is seeing that. And if you're trying to take care of them, then you're halfway taking care of them because you're not taking care of yourself. So you have to think about you first, because you got to be able to motivate you to get up. You got to be able to motivate you to get out. You got to be able to motivate you to get to work, to take care of your kids, to do everything that you need to do. You have to be able to motivate you. You have to love you for who you are as a person.
It just keeps coming up. Put your mask on first before you assist anyone else. It just keeps coming up, and rightfully so, for a reason. If you're out of oxygen, you can't help anybody else live when you're dying. Put your mask on first. It's not selfish. Take care of you. A great thing to do in every season. So, okay, thinking of every season, let me ask you this. Can every season be my season? You know, we say this is your season. Well, isn't every season my season?
Yes, absolutely. Every season can be your season, because I believe every season is for a reason. And every season, you're able to learn something in that season. Even if you feel that it's a bad season or it went wrong or whichever, don't look at it like that. Turn it around to a positive and see, what have I learned during this season? If it's a bad relationship that didn't go right, okay, what did I learn from that relationship? How can I take this information and move forward and better my life going forward? So every season is for a reason.
I love how God just keeps telling us the same thing. He uses different people to say it, but he's like in our face going, I said, I'm telling you. Do you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Thank you, God, for confirmation over and over and over again. Help us, Lord, to get it, We hear you, but we're not applying it. So thank you for confirmation over and over again. Every season is your season, sister. Learn the lesson, whatever it is you're going through. What is God trying to show you? How is it improving who you are and helping you to be the best person that you can be? And sometimes, Angela, we don't feel like we're the best person because we feel like we failed. It didn't work out in my marriage. I lost my job. I don't have enough money. So we feel like failures. And I'm reminded of a saying that says, the season of failure is the best time to sow seeds of success. The season of failure is the best time to sow seeds of success. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but what does that say to you? What does that mean to you when you hear the season of failure is the best time to sow seeds of success?
Because when you put in that season of failure, or what I call that season, that hot pot, that season of pressure, then when you're put under pressure, a lot of times great things will come from that, because your mind starts to think. You start to make things happen. You start to maybe figure out that plan of success and activate it and grow and elevate yourself from failure, because you don't want to be there, so you want to elevate. So you start to think of things that you can do, that you can get accomplished, that you can make happen in your life, and then it turns into the best part of your life after, because it makes you and it pushes you to be great and do great in your life.
So that success comes out of the struggle.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, somebody's struggling right now, and they need to know they're not alone. Matter of fact, I'd say I'm struggling too, because in life we're all struggling. But the question is, what are we doing in the struggle? Because, as they say, the struggle is real. So what words of encouragement would you give to a woman who's listening right now who understands the struggle is real, but she's getting tired, and she wants to understand and believe this is her season and embrace it, but she's running out of energy? What would you say to encourage her heart?
I would just say, don't stop. Keep on moving forward. Every step, if you have to educate yourself, figure out what you want to do, what's your purpose in life, figure that out, move forward. Get around positive people. Get around people that are going where you want to go. In that way, that changes you. Sometimes with the environment that we're in and we get comfortable and we stay there, then nothing happens. But if you start to get around people that are going where you want to go, you start learning more and educating yourself and finding out what your true calling is and your true purpose, then you start to elevate yourself. Now, know that in every season of your life, there are going to come times that you're going to have a struggle. There are going to come times that, things are in your way and you may have to maneuver to get around them. But know and have that already in your mind and prepared that, yes, things are going to happen. But no matter what happens, you're going to keep on moving forward. If you get knocked down, keep on getting back up and just keep on moving forward. Don't stop no matter what happens. Do not stop.
Just keep swimming.
Yes.
Whatever you do. I love it. And I love the fact that we've been able to spend some time reminding people, and particularly women, that they are not alone. And this is their season. And every season is their season. And this is their time to shine. So I want to just go back and recap and summarize the great words of wisdom that you shared with us, the plan of success and strategies on what we can do to move through the season. So I want to go back to where we started. And this is what I heard you say. Think positive. Change your thoughts. This is how we get through the storm. Change your thoughts. And I love how Graham Cook says, hey, just if the thought you're having is not working for you, have another thought. And you just came back and said the same thing. Think positive. You talked about how we, in the storm, we look for things to help us feel better. You talked about how we can change our hair, and you used the example of how you redecorated your room, your house, and you made sure you were surrounded by positive things. And it just reminded me, and I translated it to say, decorate or redecorate your heart. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with positive people, with great influence, with people who will lift you up, not help build you, tear you down. And if you're going to start with yourself. Be the example, is what you said. Be the example of what you expect. If you're the example, other people will follow. I really appreciated hearing you say that. You talked about mindset and positioning ourselves and making sure we put our mask on first, because we can't take care of other people until we take care of ourselves. You stressed how important it is to remember that no matter what, the season, like life, is a process. That we have to make sure that during the process we stay healthy, because healthy things grow. And whatever we do, as we run the race, make sure we just take one step at a time. You have given us some words of wisdom that we can run with today, sister, and I want to say thank you. Thank you for reminding us that every season has a reason, that it's not for nothing, that in every season we can learn something from it to help us grow. Because as I often say myself, healthy things grow. You summed it all up by saying greatness is in the pressure. Pressure produces our greatness. So no matter what we're going through, remember, as you shared, that every season offers a struggle. But no matter what, just keep moving. Don't stop. Oh, my gosh. Man, you ladies, you should have pages of notes. Pages that remind you that you are not alone. Yes, the struggle is real, but no matter what season you are in, this is your season. So we want to encourage you today to wake up. Get up, girl, and get dressed. Mama said no matter what, get up and get dressed. Look your best, and we want to say, and show up. Why? Because there's greatness inside of you, and the world awaits your greatness.
Do you have a strategy plan for your life? Is your plan outdated or collecting dust as life passes you by? It's time to stop winging it and contact Angela Denise, your certified life coach. Angela is waiting to help you develop a strategic life plan to get your life back on track. Be the best you can be with strategies. Contact Angela today at www.askangeladenise.com. Worldwide Women Speakers. We coach, speak, and train on purpose. Connect with us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com.
She's a speaker, the author of A Silent Scream, My Story, My Truth. She's a survivor of childhood trauma. She's an advocate for women and children survivors. I'm talking about Venus Chandler. She has dedicated all of her life to helping women, just like you, to find the courage you need to find your voice, to succeed, and to help you rediscover your hope, your strength, your courage, and the power within. Winter, spring, summer, and fall, sometimes, my sister, it seems as if it's raining through them all. Perhaps you know exactly what I'm talking about. But let me just remind you of this one thing. You are not alone. Today, Venus is going to share with us. She's going to give us that information that will cause transformation, that will help you be all that God has called and created you to be. So, Venus, we say welcome, and we want to hear your story. So, Venus, tell us, please, if you will, about a time in your life that was difficult for you to get through.
Thank you, Miss RJ. Yes, I cannot just think of just one time, one difficult time. I've had multiple difficult times, but just in the last few years, I had a really, really difficult time. I had been married for the 5th time. And this time I had thought I did it right. Met this guy in church. We dated for 2 years. And I thought I did all the right things. And that marriage, it failed as well. And when that marriage failed, I shut down. I laid in the bed, waited to die. I just quit living,
quit going to work, quit going to church, quit hanging with friends. I just really just laid there and waited to die. So when I think just, recently, this is like in the last 3 years, what was the most difficult time? That was a very difficult time.
Wow. You said something so vital. Not one time, but many times I've had difficult times, and I am confident that someone right now is listening that can say, whew, that's my story. Not one time, but many times. And
Exactly.
what really touched my heart is when you said, I thought I did it right. I thought I had all my ducks in a row, but at the end of the day, after it was all said and done, I just felt like I wanted to die.
Yes. Yes.
That's a time for me to just say to someone listening right now that you're not alone. Those moments you felt like quitting, giving up, you're not the only one. Even as Venus shares this inspiration that causes transformation, she's reminding you it's not just you. So, Venus, please help us. Tell us. You wanted to die, but how did you get through it?
Well, it's so funny. As I was laying there just waiting to die, patiently waiting, I had this young man from my church. Every day he would text me. He would call me. He would inbox me. Sis, are you okay? Do you need anything? And it was almost to a point where he was actually irritating me because I'm like, don't you see I'm sitting here trying to die? And so from that point, I realized that I didn't want to die. I actually wanted to live, but I just didn't know how to get past, all that pain. So I asked God, I said, God, look, I tell you what, and we always making deals with God. But I said, God, I tell you what, if you could just keep my mind for me, I could actually do the rest of the work. But I need you to keep my mind because I know that if my mind breaks, there's no coming back from that. So I just need you to maintenance that. Let me maintenance the rest of that, and that and actually a lot of prayer. So that's how I was able to sort of get past all that. That's what helped me.
Wow. So what you did in the midst of what you were going through in your season, number one, you didn't quit. Number two, you didn't quit. Even though you said you were waiting to die. You're like, leave me alone. I'm waiting to die, dude. Wow. Oh, my gosh. But you did something so powerful, and it's the same thing I want to encourage everyone who's listening to do right now. You seasoned your season with prayer. That's what I heard you say.
Oh,
like we season our chicken with seasoning salt so it could taste good, even though we look at it, it's like raw and jacked up. We put that little seasoning salt and that little extra seasoning on it, and we bite into it. It's juicy, right? That's what you did in the midst of your season. You seasoned your season with prayer.
I sure did.
Wow.
I couldn't have done anything without that. You're right.
There's somebody listening right now, Venus, and they're feeling like they can't make it. They need to know what season to put on this season so they can make it. So what would you say to someone who needs to hear a word of hope right now? What is the key to successfully getting through any season?
Okay, so I'm going to say the number one thing is prayer. That is the number one thing. The next thing I would do is I will write down all my goals. All my goals, they need to be plastered everywhere, all my goals. You really need to understand the season that you're in. You need to truly recognize the season. And the reason why I say that is because you need to be able to handle every season accordingly, because you here one way and then go over here and handle the next season the very same way. every season is handled accordingly, differently. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that it's very, very important to really understand, to sit back and understand the season that you're in. I really believe that anything that distracts you, it could be people, job, friends, whatever it is, if it tears you away from that focus, then you need to set that aside. Doesn't matter what it is. Set that aside. If it doesn't fit into that season, move it out of the way.
So recognize that each season has its own beauty. Realize what season you're in and season it with prayer. That's what I kind of heard you say.
Absolutely. In a nutshell, yes.
That sounds like it's my season. When I do those things, it sounds like, okay, now is my time to shine. So we want to encourage you as you're listening. Write down what Denise is saying. So let me just recap so you can write it down. She said season each season with prayer. Write your goals down. Plaster them everywhere. Recognize what season you're in. Embrace it. Yeah. Embrace it. Because this is your season. So let's talk about that because, you know, we often hear those words, this is your season. Like some people say seasons change. Personally, I say seasons don't change. People change. Because no matter what, summer is always going to follow spring. There's no change in that, okay? It will never come after winter. People have to change. So if this is my season, that means I have to change. So what does that mean to you? Can you tell us what it means when you say or you hear people say, this is your season?
Oh, when I hear people say, this is your season, to me, it's telling me it's a time of celebration. It is a time of celebration. This is my season. This is my winning season. And the reason why I say that is because, say for instance, my book that I wrote, A Silent Scream, My Story, My Truth. It took me years to write this book, and it took me years because I went through hell. I'm telling you, literal hell. There was tears. It was uncertainty. It was hard. So I think that when they say it's your season, that means that you are now living in your reward of all of that, of all your tears, of all your sweat, of all your uncertainty. That's the way I see it, a time of celebration. And it is. It's a time to celebrate.
That really reminds me of a saying, a quote that says, even in life's most difficult seasons, find reasons to be grateful and celebrate. This is your season. Celebrate it.
Yes.
Okay, Denise, author, speaker, advocate. I know you said you went through some difficult times. I mean, how do you celebrate in the midst of difficulties? How do you celebrate in the midst of, as you share, your man leaving you or you having a divorce for the 5th time? How do I celebrate? I can't even get up out the bed in the morning.
Because you got to celebrate all the little bitty small wins in between. You don't have to wait for the big hurrah. I got up out of the bed and I was able to go and cook me something to eat, and even in the time that I wanted to die, that right there should have been a celebration because I was able to get up and go cook me something to eat. I was able to take a shower. That's something to celebrate about because most people who's laying there trying to die don't want to shower, don't want to eat. You have to celebrate all the little bitty small wins in between so that when you get to this big one, I'm telling you, it's something that you want to run down the street and say, hey, look. So, yes.
Okay, I certainly hope somebody wrote that down. Small wins. I got up this morning. I was able to cook something. I'm able to eat something. Small wins. Somebody need to write that down. Small wins. And you know what I think? If we write down our small wins, throughout the day, at the end of the day, we can look back and go, whoa, it was better than I thought. Right?
Exactly.
It's like we always have more to celebrate. As you said, this is your season. That's what we do. We celebrate. When we write it down, we realize I got a whole lot of things to celebrate.
That's right.
What are you celebrating today, right now? Like in the midst of whatever you're going through, what are you looking at instead and celebrating?
I used to be so mad that I had to be here at a 9-to-5 job. I am celebrating today that I have a 9-to-5 job, that when my car needs to be maintenance, I can actually go and pay for it to be maintenance. I know that don't seem like a lot to everybody, but, I mean, it's a lot to me.
But you know what? That's powerful to the woman who is starting her business. She's still on her job, and she's wishing she could just quit and go do what her passion and her heart beats for. That's actually, oh my gosh, Denise, I hope she wrote it down, because that's actually words of wisdom. Like, wait, just because somebody else said it's time for you to go do this full time, don't mean it's time for you to leave your job. Wait.
Right.
Wait, you will know when it's time to leave. Not because someone else said, I left my job. That don't mean it's time for you to leave your job. Right. So I'm going to encourage you, as you're listening, to celebrate, as Venus said, because this is your season. Celebrate the small wins, working a full-time 9-to-5 job while you're working on your dream. Girl, go ahead and celebrate.
Right.
That's awesome, Venus. That's awesome. So tell us, this is good stuff what you're sharing with us. So tell us, when the seasons change, when life happens, and we go from, what we like to it getting better, or perhaps just the opposite is going downhill when we want it to go uphill, does the way that we do self-care need to change too? Like, what do we do when things change? Do we change our eating habits, our sleeping patterns? Share your thoughts and tips on success for maintaining, just like you talked about your car, our lives for a healthy balance during the time where things are changing for us.
Well, of course, yes. Things, when seasons change, things change, of course. When we're happy and excited, we always want to get up out of the bed early. We eat right. We want to go exercise. But then when we're depressed, we want to stay in the bed. We want to cry, eat ice cream and all that good stuff. But what I would say is to develop routines and habits, such as good eating, go to bed at a certain time every night, read, a chapter out of a good book, develop really good habits, because when seasons are changing, those things will not change because they're habits. They'll be a part of you. It'll be something that's second nature. So that's what I do for myself.
That's good stuff. Develop habits so that when life happens, you can continue to be who you are, authentically true to who you are, in spite of what's happening around you, inside of you. You still can say, you know what, I'm going to eat my salad today. I'm going for a walk today. That's good stuff.
That's right.
Develop a habit. Oh, Venus.
That's right.
This is your season, girl. So listen. No matter what you're going through, go back and revisit the habits that you have already established.
Absolutely.
Go back to basics, because this is your season. And let Venus and I remind you, girl, you're not alone. We are working on it too. Right,
That's
Venus?
Right. That's right.
So, not that you haven't already given us, tons of good stuff, inspiration, words of transformation, I just need to ask you just for a little more. as the author, as a speaker, as a consultant, you got some good stuff for us, and we don't want to leave it on the table. So, a silent scream, my story, my truth. Tell us words of encouragement that we might even can find in your book, A Silent Scream, My Story, My Truth.
Words of encouragement. Well, it's definitely towards the end when I really learned about self-care. The thing is, I want people to remember that you need to handle every season accordingly. When I got to the season of learning what self-care was all about, I also learned that when it comes to self-care, some people might want to call it selfish, but it isn't selfish. It is self-care. And when it comes to that, sometimes we have to shut down everything, social media, friends. We have to take some days for ourselves to get, to refocus and really remember who we are and why we're here. Remember that God gave everybody in this world a purpose. But if your focus is on everything else except what your purpose is, then it's going to drown it out. You're not going to be able to really hone in on it and work your purpose. So that's the way I feel right there.
So self-care, take care of yourself.
Yes.
Like they say on the plane, put your mask on first before you try to assist someone else. Yes. So during this season, no matter what season it is in your life right now, it's your season. It's your time to shine. Right. So as Venus said, take care of you.
Yes.
You can read more about how to take care of you and Venus' story of how she took care of herself in her book, A Silent Scream, My Story, My Truth, which is available for you to remember you're not alone. So, Venus, as we wrap this thing up, it's your season, encouraging women, and particularly around the world, to remind them that they don't have to live where they're dying and they don't have to die where they're living, that it's their season to shine. Leave us with, if you will, a quote, a saying, your words of wisdom that will encourage our heart and help us do what we were called and created to do.
I just want everybody to really stay focused on their purpose. Keep your eyes forward. Pray a lot, and I mean a lot. Surround yourself with like-minded people. People are going in the same direction that you're going. Somebody that's going to pull you up and tell you that, no, you shouldn't go that way, come this way. Somebody that's going to help steer you down the path that you need to go down. And make sure, to me, I always make sure that I have at least 2 or 3 really, really good prayer partners. Somebody that's going to check in on me. And, of course, I'm going to do the same for others.
Nothing like sisterhood. Absolutely nothing like it, especially sisters who are praying for you. So I want to just recap some of the things you've shared with us today. They've been powerful. They have literally, if we take them to heart, they have already eliminated any excuse we could ever come up with of why we are not succeeding in this season, because this is our season. So you went from wanting to die, matter of fact, not only wanting to die, but waiting, not living, waiting to die.
Right.
You went from waiting to die to this being your season where you now serve as an advocate for other people. And words of wisdom that you left on our heart today said this: season your season with prayer.
Yes.
You also reminded us how important it is to set goals, to celebrate small wins, to create habits that are healthy, that will keep us going even in the midst of the rain, to surround ourselves with like-minded people, find prayer partners, and to remember that you're not alone.
Yes.
Did I get it right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I certainly hope those of you who are listening got it right, too, because it's right and it's tight. And I want to remind you, as I say, thank you, Venus, for sharing inspiration that causes transformation, for being a leader for us to aspire to. Thank you for sharing authentically your story to help us get through this season so that we can know that this is our time to shine, because this is our season. It's time to wake up, get dressed, and show up. This is your season. That's right? This is your season. Don't let today pass you by. Tomorrow just might be too late. Today is the day. You are the person. You make the choice, and God will make the change. Thanks, Venus, for sharing. I can't wait to hear more from you later at another time because, girl, you got some good stuff that you shared with us today. We appreciate you, sister. Thanks for reminding us. It's my pleasure, and thank you for reminding us this is our season.
Have you been victimized or traumatized? Do you wish someone would hear your silent scream, understand your story, or know your truth? Venus Chandler, survivor, author, and motivational speaker, hears, understands, and knows the truth about being victimized and traumatized. She has dedicated the rest of her life to helping women like you to find their voice and rediscover their hope, strength, courage, and their power within. If you are ready to regain your voice, connect with Venus today at www.venuschandler.com or info@venuschandler.com. Purchase Venus's book, A Silent Scream, My Story, My Truth, on Amazon, or contact her via email for a personal signed copy. Let your silent scream be heard.
Are you in a season where you're feeling drained, too tired, you're frazzled, you're feeling unhealthy, you have literally like no energy left at the end of the day? Well, if that's you, the next 30 minutes is your roadmap to a healthier you. For years, mindset maven, speaker, and author Athena Blue has struggled with the same issues. She knows what you're thinking, feeling, and going through. Listen, sister, you're not alone. Through her journey, she has taken her pain and turned it into purpose. She has discovered healthy ways not only to look and feel younger, but to regain her zest for life. If you're ready to regain your zest for life, if you believe that this is your season, get your pen and paper out. You're going to want to take notes so that you can take action to be who you've been created to be. This, my sister, is your season. Thinking of seasons, winter, spring, summer, and fall, sometimes, I promise you, I know it does for me. It seems as if it's raining through them all. But today, Miss Athena is going to tell us how to get through the difficult times in life and regain that zest that we once had, what we dreamed of. So, Miss Athena, girl, it's raining over here. It's kind of like storming in my world. We need you, sister. We need you. We're like tired. We're too tired to be tired. You know what we're saying? Have you ever had a rainy season or a time in your life that it's been difficult for you?
Oh, RJ, have I. The toughest time in my life was when my husband died 2 years ago from prostate cancer. Any loss is tragic for a family, but this was especially difficult because my husband died in October, which is my birth month, and November was his birth month, and then our wedding anniversary was in December. So October 23rd was a gut-wrenching day, and then November 3rd was another gut-wrenching day, and then December 18th was another gut-wrenching day. All happened, back to back to back after his death. Before October, November, December were happy months for us. They each held significance for each of us. My birthday, his birthday, and then our wedding anniversary. But that year he died in 2016, it was so hard. It was so hard to get through those months. So what we did, my children and we have 5 kids, 3 girls, 2 boys. 3 boys and 2 girls are all grown. We just kind of formed like a little band. We just, bonded together. We just held one another, cried, laughed, ate meals together. Nothing could penetrate our family shield for those first 3 months because we didn't want to be dealing with anybody. It was just us. But I know what actually helped me to get over the grief process, because whenever there's a loss, you got to go through the grief process. And it varies from person to person, which stage you're in, because there's several stages to the grief process. But I knew I had to go on. I had to get back to work. I didn't want to keep going with this feeling like a hole was in my heart, and that's how I felt. I just felt like I was numb with a big hole in my heart. And what actually helped me to kind of get over it, what I feel was quickly, was a technique that I had learned going through a certification process for emotional wellness specialist. It's brain-based, not mind-based. So that technique is very, very simple. You use it with your hands, and it's so simple to learn. I could teach anybody in just a few seconds how to do it. And this is something that once they learn it, it's theirs forever. I would do this technique morning and night, and whenever I was at work and I felt really, really overwhelmed with sadness, I would do it at work. And just what this technique does is just kind of melts away the negative emotion of an event without taking away the significance of the event. And so now when I think about my husband, I don't have this, feeling in my heart. I'm happy. I think about the positive memories and the loving memories I have of him. And these techniques help me get through my grief process, I feel, a lot quicker. And let me tell you, I also had to use this for my son, my eldest son, who was the last one to see my husband alive in the hospital. When he was transitioning over, my husband called out to my son, Darius, I want to go home, take me home. And then he died. And my son was overwhelmed, not only with grief, but with guilt. Because he said, I couldn't fulfill Dad's last wish, and he wanted to go home, and I couldn't take him home. And no matter how much I tried to tell him, Darius, there was nothing you could have done for him at that moment. You couldn't have picked him up and taken him out. He still would have died. You did what you could have done. You were there, when he passed away. I was with a guest who had just come, to see me, and I was in the lounge, patient lounge waiting, and then he ran in there and told me that he was gone. But for a few months, he was going through this very, very grief-stricken attitude. And so I said, you've got to try this technique that I've been using on me. And he said, okay. So I showed him how to do it, and I made him practice it in front of me. I said, now, do this whenever you feel overwhelmed with grief. And so after a couple of weeks, I checked on him again. I said, how are you doing? How are you feeling? He says, Mom, I feel much better. I said, keep doing that until all that guilt just melts away. And so he feels so much better now. He's his normal self. He's smiley, happy-go-lucky. And so this is something that, will be a boom to society because so many people have emotional problems and issues, and this is something that can be simply taught
and it really helps. And that's what helped me get over my grief-stricken season of losing my husband.
Let me first express my condolences to you and my gratitude as well for sharing authentically your pain for our gain, for us to be who God has created us to be. I want to go back and talk, before we talk about the techniques and get into that at any level, no matter what level, because I'm confident that there's someone who is listening right now who is in a season of grief and guilt. And here's what I know. Regardless of what season we're in, and I want to speak personally to those who are listening, regardless of what season you're in, this is your season. So, Athena, you talked about back-to-back-to-back rain, and you talked about that happening in a season from, I would say, October to December, which typically is a season of fall. And what you shared was, oh, my gosh, things are falling apart for me. And no doubt somebody's feeling that right now. Things are falling apart. I love how you said, but you were glued together. You were bound together as a family, that no matter what was happening, that you were going to stick together. And that is so beautiful. That right there is powerful. How important it is that in any season that God has given us people that we can stick together with. So let's just go back. Go ahead.
You don't mind, just an example of how my children were such a blessing to me. You know, when it came time, even for that next year in February, my daughter picked out a beautiful card, and it's called Love Pops. You know, when you open them up, they just open up into this beautiful design, and she wrote this beautiful paragraph as if it was my husband speaking to me.
Wow.
And I didn't know what to do. I was so grateful, but it made me cry because it sounded as if it was talking to me. Those were encouraging words. Honey, you know, I'm sorry I had to leave you, but, you know, I'm looking out over you and the children. You know, I'm going to take care of you from my end over here. She was just in his voice. And I still have that card now, and it was just such a beautiful gesture for her to send, you know, me a card for Valentine's Day, speaking as if she were my husband. And that's just how great my kids are.
That is beautiful. That is an example of the bond and the bonding together and the joy it can bring in the midst of the rainy seasons. And that's what God wants us to do. And you talked about, thank you so much first for sharing that with us. I want to speak to something you said, which I'm confident relates to people who are listening. And we want to continue to remind women, you're not alone. No matter what you're going through, someone else, another woman in particularly, has gone through it, and we want to encourage your heart to remind you that even though seasons don't really change because they follow one after the other no matter what, people change. And so one of the things you talked about was you felt you had to go on. As difficult as it was, you talked about feeling numb. You felt you had to go on. Speak to someone right now who's listening, who's feeling numb. Help them find that courage to go on. What would you say to them right now?
Well, let me just read a little quote that kind of like spurred me on. It's from a Mark Chernoff, and this kind of sums it up, but I can expound it a little more. It says, everything that happens helps you grow, even if it's hard to see right now. Circumstances will direct you, correct you, and perfect you over time. So whatever you do, hold on to hope.
the tiniest thread will twist into an unbreakable cord. Let hope anchor you in the possibility that this is not the end of your story, that the change in the tides will eventually bring you to peaceful shores. So everything that happens to us, no matter how difficult, no matter how awful, it's all preparing and building us for something better. It's maturing us, it's perfecting us, it's correcting us so that we can one day, as I'm doing, share our experiences to someone else. We may not think our experiences are worth sharing at the time we're going through, because goodness knows I didn't. A few years ago, I would have thought, who would want to listen to my story? But all of these are worthy to be told to other people, because then other people will know that they're not alone. There are other people who are going through the same thing, the same type of struggles, maybe at various degrees or intensities, but we're all going through this thing called life. And when we go through life, we're going through some challenges. And challenges aren't here to harm us and to make us weaker. These challenges are here to make us stronger and wiser. So that's what we have to hold on to whenever we're going through a challenge, that this too shall pass, and I'm going to come out on the other side purer than I was when I went in.
We're all going through life, and life happens,
all going
right?
through life. It certainly does. Can't get out of, my husband used to say you can't get out of life alive. But
can't get out of life alive. That's absolutely right. It just won't happen. It just won't happen. So if that's you and you're going through a season of grief and guilt, we understand. Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
It's not the end. This is not the end.
It's not the end. There are people who are holding on, and sometimes they feel like, well, I'm not going to talk about it because nobody understands. And you've had a journey. You understand what it's like to feel numb and not want to go on, but knowing you have to go on. And you made up in your mind, you got to go on. So what season would you actually say you're in right now?
You mean as it relates to like the normal seasons?
However you interpret that. What season would you say you're in right now?
It's definitely not winter. Probably late summer, early fall. Because I feel like I still have a lot of miles to go. And I feel like there's a lot I want to do, number one. And I feel like I will be doing a lot of things that I want to do. And one of the things I want to do is be able to reach out and help other women realize their potential. One of the things that I had to struggle with my mindset. I had a negative mindset for many, many years, which interfered with my family life. It could have been better, but my mindset just was, I didn't know that I could change my thoughts. But when I found out I could, and I practiced doing that, life got better for me. But there's so many people who don't know that. And so I want to spread a message that, you can change your thoughts. And it may take a while. Just like basketball, you have to practice if you want to keep hitting those shots. You have to keep practicing. But the more you practice, the better you get, until you get to a time where you just you don't even allow any negative thoughts in your head. And when they do, you can just let them flow out. That's where we've got to be, even when we're going through our challenges. I'm going through one right now. My car, after the extended warranty went out, the transmission went out. And I took it in and I said, now, come on, this is not right. I've been having all the maintenance checks. Everything's been good. The transmission should not be out. So he said, okay, you need to call Nissan or USA and let them know. I got in touch with the customer service rep, And she called me back and said, well, Miss Blue, well, we can't help you because your car is a branded title. I said, well, what do you mean by that? She said, well, your car is branded for salvage. I said, how can that be? It's a new car. You know, when I bought it, it was a new car. She said, well, you just have to call DMV. So I called DMV, gave them my VIN number. Miss Blue, nothing's wrong with your title. It's not branded for salvage. I don't know. She said she must have a wrong number. Kept trying to call a lady back, trying to tell her, you know, you got the wrong number. My car title isn't branded for salvage. I talked to DMV. But this lady would not call me back. I called 7, 8, 9 times. And I will admit, each time I called, I was a little bit more irritated at her lack of customer service and even calling me back. So I called the people I got the car from. They finally had to call her. They communicated. They found out that they did, in fact, have the wrong VIN number. Hey, what I determined to do throughout the whole thing, I was not going to get mad or angry or upset. That was my mindset.
And so our mindset is
all
important.
Work out right for me, no matter what's happening. It may look bleak, but God's working it out. And that's how I've come to think about my challenges. You know, it's going to work out. It may look bleak,
it's going to work
but
out.
It's going to work out. Mm-hmm.
It's going to work out. Each season brings its yes, because each season brings its own beauty, and change is always possible. So what we have to do, as you just said, is make sure that our thoughts are positive, that they're looking at the brighter side, the sun shining from beneath the cloud, because it's there. Mm-hmm. Even though it's cloudy, the sun is there. So that reminds me that, you know, as you were talking, seasons come. There's winter, there's spring, there's summer, there's fall. They each follow one after the other. There's no changing that. There's no getting around that. The thing is, how do we get through each season? So in a couple of words or so, speak to that for me, if you will. What do we need to do to successfully transition from one season to another in our life?
Well, I'm going to talk to maybe about one aspect, you know, about how we take care of ourselves as the seasons change. And since I'm a nurse and a health coach, I'm going to focus more on the health and nutrition side. So, as you said, seasons change: spring, summer, winter, fall. And those serve a purpose, especially for the foods that we eat. I believe we should eat seasonally, which is eating foods that are locally grown and harvested in their season. As you remember, you know, when we were mainly an agrarian society or farming society, we did eat like this. You know, we ate locally. However, as our society became more advanced, we moved away from all that. And now we have huge, large commercial farms scattered all over the globe. So now food has to be transported into us from China, from Europe, you know, from South America. You know, rarely are we getting our foods locally. Okay, but let me tell you some of the benefits of eating seasonally. Number one, foods taste better because they were picked at harvest time and not before. You know, you kind of go into the store, maybe bought a pear or some fruits that were just hard as a rock, and you had to let them mature. It's because the fruits were picked before harvest time. But if you eat seasonally and buy locally, the foods taste better. And they taste fresher. And they have a higher nutritional content. And the cost will be lower. Why? Because the produce is in season and it's abundant. And since produce has a limited shelf life, they want to try to get those out to us as soon as possible at the most reasonable cost, so they're going to be lower. And buying locally, we also avoid contaminants from produce that's been sourced overseas. We don't know what they're putting on those crops when they grow them overseas. We just don't know. And with all the stuff with GMOs and stuff like that, we just don't know what people are putting in. So if we purchase our foods locally, you know, we can ask that farmer, you know, or local store, grocery store, are these GMOs? How are they produced? Are there pesticides on these? And if you're buying stuff from a local farmer co-op, you can ask these questions. And if they know you're interested in this, they will adjust their tactics just so that they can sell to you. And also, eating seasonally supports our body's nutritional needs. For example, in the wintertime, nature provides us with more citrus fruits, which when we eat them, they help us to fight infections and colds. And in the summertime, nature provides us with stone fruits like peaches and plums, which are rich in beta-carotenes, and these help prevent sun damage. And they're also sweet and juicy for energy. And then there are the salad vegetables for tasty, cool salads. So this is the way we used to eat. Not just provided for us to eat, because when Adam and Eve were created, they were put in a what? A garden. They weren't put in a slaughterhouse. They were put in a garden to tend to it and to eat seasonally. Also, one more good thing, eating seasonally helps our environment because they don't have to truck or transport food in. They're not refrigerated, they're not irradiated, and all our food's now locally grown. So one good rule of thumb for maintaining a healthy nutritional balance is to eat more fruits and vegetables than animal protein. And I always say this to our Christian people, hey, our first diet was fruits and vegetables. You can't get around that. Our first diet was fruits and vegetables. So
to get through any season, what I hear you saying is self-care, have a balanced, healthy life, and start with your eating habits. Is that what I hear you saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you want to learn what seasonal foods are produced and grown in your area, go to www.seasonalfoodguide.org.
Because there's help available to help you get through every season in life, no matter what season you're in. Now, we're really running out of time, but I have a couple of questions I really want to ask you because what you've given us so far is empowerment, and we need to be empowered in every season of our life. We need to have that hope and to know this is not the end, as you shared. This is not the end. So when we talk about this is your season, what does that mean to you? This is your season. If you were to tell somebody, which we've been telling people, this is your season, what does that mean to you?
Okay. To me, this is my season means everything I've gone through in my total life experience up until this point has prepared me for what I'm about to do here and now, which is to share my experiences with others so they will know they are not alone, and hopefully inspire them to realize their true potential and greatness and encourage them to step out and become that person they've always known they were, or start that thing, whatever it is, that they've been dreaming of. That's what this is your season means to me. It's time to get out and get everything. You're prepared. We don't know it, but you are prepared. All we got to do is step out on just a little bit of faith and get it going. And all the rest will just kind of fall in place.
You're prepared. I love that. Everything you need, she said, my sister, is inside of you.
Amen.
I hope you're writing this down. Because this is your roadmap to succeed. This is your roadmap to be all that you were created to be so that you can have someone else find hope and possibility. You got it. Stop going looking for it. It's inside of you. I love that. Encourage our hearts before we go, beautiful. What words of encouragement would you like to leave us with?
Well, never give up on yourself or your dreams. It may take a little while to bring into reality, but it will be well worth the trip. And then I want to say, don't hang up, hang on. That's from an old preacher friend of mine. He used to always say that whenever you're going through tough times, don't hang up, hang on. And Tony Robbins said, if you're going to make a change, you're going to have to operate from a new belief that says life happens not to me, but for me. And those are some good encouraging words I hope will inspire you and encourage you to keep hanging on.
Those are amazing, encouraging words. And listen, seasons don't change, but you and I can. We just have to decide that this is our season and now is the time. So just in case you don't feel that way and you think no one understands, let us just remind you quickly, you're not alone. What you're going through is to prepare you for what God has for you. So I want to just say thank you, Athena. You are certainly a maven. You are one who we can depend on to help us take one step at a time to get to where we're going. You know what we want to do? We want to know more about those techniques. So I'm going to give people an opportunity to connect with you in just a moment to learn about those techniques that you actually use to help get you through those tough times. But first, I want to just sum up what you've talked about today to help those women who are in whatever season they're in enjoy the moment and get to the next season. So you talked about how important it is when things are falling apart to have a community that you can bind together with, that you can uplift and encourage. And when you're feeling like you can't go on, don't quit. As you shared in some of the quotes you said, hold on to hope. Whatever you do, never give up. Don't hang up. Hang on. Remember that this too shall pass. The challenges that you're going through, my sister, as Athena have reminded us, they're to make you stronger. They're to make you and not break you. Don't forget to take care of you. Start with healthy eating. As she has shared, you are already prepared. It's time to step out. No matter what you're going through, remember this: you're not alone. Whatever season you're in, wake up, get dressed, and show up. There's greatness inside of you, and the world awaits your greatness. This is your season.
Ladies, do you feel older, drained, and frazzled with no energy left at the end of the day? For years, Athena Blue struggled with these very same issues. Through her own healing journey, she discovered healthy ways to not only look and feel younger, but regained her zest for life. Schedule your free Energy Boost session with Athena right now and learn the #1 thing you can do now to turn your life around. Call Athena today at 877-235-0373. Again, that's 877-235-0373, extension 907. Worldwide Women Speakers. We coach, speak, and train on purpose. Connect with us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com.
Girl, this is your season. I'm trying to tell you, this is your season. It's time to renew. Listen, it's time for increase in your life. In every area of your life, this is your season. So I want to admonish you to get your pen and paper out. I want to tell you it's time to take action. Now listen, you will want to take notes because we have a certified holistic practitioner and life coach who will walk with you during the next 30 minutes, and that walk will be the walk of a lifetime. She's going to share information that will cause transformation in your situation so you will be able to achieve optimal health and well-being. This is your season. This is it right here. You've waited long enough. You've pressed hard enough. You held on long enough. This is your season. Winter, spring, summer, and fall, I'm promising you sometimes in life it seems like it's raining through them all. It seems like we never get a break. Sometimes we find ourselves saying, why me? When is it ever going to quit? I mean, it just keeps raining and raining and raining. Well, listen, girl, if it's raining in your life right now, all I can say is fear not, because the rain helps things to grow, and healthy things grow. Today, our certified holistic practitioner, Ms. Tomika Haynes, can attest to the fact that healthy things grow. She's going to tell us, yes, sometimes when we grow, it's painful, but we can get through it. And she's going to start off by sharing what she's gone through. So, Tomika, thanks for being our inspirational leader for today and walking with us during this season of our life. And regardless of what season we in, we all agree this is our season. Would you agree, Miss Tomika?
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. This is our season, and sometimes in seasons it seems like the rain is never going to stop. Have you ever had a time in your life where you thought, is it ever going to stop raining? Can I put my umbrella up?
Yes, of course. I believe we all do, but, there are times in my life where things just kept happening back to back. Family members, being diagnosed with cancer, and things like that, health issues. Also, and I had a 2-year engagement end, during that time. I was struggling, my son was struggling with middle school things, that time when they're 14, 13, 14, and they're going through that rough period of puberty and middle school. Financial issues sprung up out of nowhere, unannounced financial things came about, car issues came about. So I really do know what it's like for the rain to start and seem like it's not letting up.
You said back to back, like I know somebody is feeling you right now. Somebody is saying, oh, Lord, that's me. That's the season I'm in right now. So I don't know what y'all talking about. This is your season because it is not doing anything over here but raining. Matter of fact, somebody is saying it's raining, it's pouring, the old man snoring, and I'm tired. So let me ask you this for the person who's feeling that way, because we want them to know that this is not the end. So how do we successfully get through the season, whatever season we're in, so that we can still maintain the fact that this really is our season?
Yeah, I think that's just it. We have to just pause, take a moment, take a deep breath, and realize that it is just a season. And we have to start to grab and hold on to our faith, during these times, to know that, whatever comes our way, God has already instilled in us the strength to get through these things, and we also have to realize that help is coming, whether it be through, financial breakthrough, whether it be just friends to come along and help you through the situation. Sometimes it's people you don't even know that, may show up. But we have to remember that God has our back during these times and that we can make it through this, that it's only a season. Everything changes just like the seasons change, in real life, winter, spring, summer, fall. The things that we go through, they will eventually end, and another season is coming.
So how did you get through? What got you through your back-to-back season circumstances of dealing with cancer, financial issues, engagement? What got you through?
What got me through, honestly, was my faith. If it was not for my faith, I really don't know, honestly, how I would have gotten through. I kept myself grounded in that faith, and I kept speaking over myself. I kept speaking the opposite of what was going on to make myself, realize that, okay, this is going to turn around, that it's only temporary. I just kept in mind that trouble don't last always. We always hear that saying, but it's indeed true that it does not. You have the strength within you. What does not kill you indeed makes you stronger, but you just have to persevere through that. So, for me, it was holding on to that faith and just waking up to a new morning every day. It's okay that the day before wasn't good. Maybe you cried most of that day. But realizing and being grateful, that next morning that you got up and getting up and just trying it all over again.
So you said you kept in mind. That means to me you had those thoughts in your mind to keep them in your mind. You said you held on to your faith. That means you had some faith to hold on to. What about the person who's feeling all I ever hear, feel, and experience is negative, and now I'm going through this negative thing again and again? Like, what if they're feeling like, what the heck? I don't see no daybreak. I don't have nothing positive to say because nothing positive is happening. God, where are you in this season? Like, what's their steps? How do they overcome that? How do they get through those feelings?
I would say they should really, even if it's one thing, to be thankful about. And that's the only thing that they have to be thankful about over and over again, because see how faith builds. No one starts out with this big amount of faith. No one does. It builds. It grows. So I would say take that one thing. If it's just waking up that morning, be thankful for that. And once you begin to be thankful for one thing, you will find other things to be thankful for, other things to be sent your way to be thankful for. It just doesn't rain forever. It just can't. That's not the way God works. So I would say definitely start with the one thing. Jot it down. Write it down. If it's a picture of your child, keep that in front of you. He's healthy. He's still here. Even though he may be going through some things or whatever. Keep in mind that there are things to be grateful for, and just start there.
So what I hear you saying is season your season, whatever season you're going through, with faith and gratitude. Have an attitude of gratitude and trust that the rain is going to stop.
Yes. And then that's having faith in a nutshell. Indeed, yes.
And seasoning always makes everything better anyway. So if you want, right? So if you want to get through the rain, put some season on it. Put some faith on it. Put whatever faith you have at whatever level you have. Put some attitude of gratitude on it, so you can celebrate the taste of the goodness of no matter what's going on. There's still a taste of goodness in it, right?
Yes, and rain always makes things grow. I don't know of anything that does not grow, that can grow without there being rain or water,
Yeah, rain helps things to grow, and healthy things grow.
Exactly.
I love it. Yes. I love it. So we're going through, it's tough. We're like fighting in our mind, like sometimes fighting with God, like, God, you promised me this, and why you ain't showing up, and where are you, and what did I do, right? Like we're having this battle going on. And so my question to you is there ever a time when in life when we're in a season and we're wasting that season? And if so, what does that mean, we're wasting the season? And if you don't feel we can waste a season, well, why not?
Okay. Yeah, I don't feel that you can waste a season, because everything is teaching you something, whether it be, going through a hard time or whatever the situation is. You're always learning and growing. Pain brings about a purpose. We all, all heard that saying before. So there's no wasting of the season. The season you could have done something better. We all could have, but we don't know what we don't know. So in order to know what to do when that season comes again, we have to go through it. That's how lessons come about. So nothing's ever wasted, in my opinion.
So as long as we learn a lesson, we can't waste a season.
You cannot waste a season. No.
Do you ever think that sometimes we don't learn a lesson? Yes, definitely. And I've had many of those times where, you feel like, oh, my gosh, why didn't I learn this lesson the last time? But, the thing about that is you have another opportunity to learn it. That's why the lesson came back around. You have to give yourself some grace. We don't come here knowing everything. Sometimes we don't even know that it was a lesson until it happens again, and then we finally get it, So you have to give yourself some grace to grow. So sometimes we got to take another lap, right? Yes. And the more laps you take, the more in shape you are, right? Just like you're working out. Yes, that's so true. Even though while we're taking a lap, we don't feel like that. We're like, I'm tired. I need some water. Are we there yet? Right. Can I stop now? Right. And so to those of you who are listening, we're laughing because really that's what we go through. On a serious note, listen, don't quit. If you need to take another lap, take the lap, learn the lesson, and grow and get stronger. And never feel you're alone. Just look around. There are people who are there who can walk with you while you take that lap. Don't you dare quit. You hear me? Don't you dare quit. Tomika, as a holistic practitioner and as a life coach, I know people have come to you saying they're ready to quit. And your goal and your passion is helping them achieve the health and the well-being that they need, want, deserve, and desire. How do you do that? We first start by assessing exactly where you are. Nothing brings about change better than just facing the truth, of where you are right now, so you know where to start, so you know what you need to fix and improve and how we can help you to do that. So admit where you are. Yes. In whatever season you're in, admit it. Okay, so that sounds easy again, and one of those things that it sounds easy, but, I don't want nobody to know that I'm in pain, that I'm running around this lap one more time because I chose the wrong guy again. I really don't want nobody to look down on me or make me feel bad. So maybe I'm feeling it's best if I just keep it to myself and work through it. Would you suggest that? If not, why not? If so, why so? I would not. I would not keep that to myself because I believe that, we are all put here to help each other. So there is someone, out there, whether it be me or, someone else that can help you to transition through these seasons of life. It's not anything to be ashamed of. We all have things that we go through, no matter how painful or embarrassing or, if we feel shameful about it. Anything that's kept in the dark cannot heal. So it's important to, find someone that you can confide in to help you to get through these things and not keep it to yourself. You don't want to keep it bottled in
because that too, especially when it comes to, emotional things, can also turn into health issues when we don't deal with the issues at hand.
And so sometimes those health issues can be stress, high blood pressure, those type of things that actually take us down instead of build us up, right?
Yes. Health issues, it's like a cycle, Life issues can cause health issues, and health issues can cause life issues, right? So if you're going through a stressful time, that can cause high blood pressure. If your blood pressure is too high, that can cause you to land in a hospital, and you've missed out on work, and then it spirals into other things, or you can't be there to take care of your family. So, facing the truth of, what's going on, whether it be health-wise or, stress or anything, that comes along with living, you have to deal with those things.
So in dealing with it, asking for help seems like something I hear you saying it would be important to consider doing. What might be another thing that we could do to not only get through a season, but to embrace the season that we're in?
I believe that in embracing the season, it's kind of hard. And that's why I pause a little bit, because, you're like, embrace the season. Like, I'm going through all this stuff. I don't want to embrace this. Like, I want to just, get over it, wake up and it's done. But you have to realize, like I said earlier, there's pain, there's purpose in the pain that you're going through. There's a purpose in what's going on. Like I said, what does not kill you makes you stronger. And the whole point is to strengthen yourself so it doesn't kill you. So you have to, learn how to persevere and to roll with the punches, Put on your Wonder Woman wristbands and, and learn how to fight back against these things that are happening during these seasons in your life.
Yeah, get the S off your chest, but put on your Wonder Woman wristband.
Yes.
Because the S on your chest will keep you from asking for help. But the wristband is bling, bling, and people notice bling, bling, baby. They're like, oh, Let me see your bracelet. Oh, you too? You going through too? Girl, me too. And then you create a bond that says, let's encourage and support one another. I'm loving it. Put on your Wonder Woman wristband, girl, and know this.
Yes.
You are not alone. You are not the only one in the season that you are in. It's true what they say. Either someone has gone through it, they are in it right now, or they're about to go through it, and that's where your testimony will come in handy for someone else. So, as Tomika said, there's purpose in your pain. So let me ask you this, Tomika. Is it possible that every season can be my season? Can I have an attitude that says this is my season, like no matter what I'm going through?
Yes, you definitely can. And like I said, in every season, there's a lesson. Even if you're not winning today, you can be tomorrow. You take it day by day and take the lesson of that day and take it into the next day and wake up and be like, yeah, what do you have for me today? I'm ready for you. I'm going to win no matter what. You have to keep that mentality. You can't let what happens to you in this world beat you down. Every season has a lesson in it. Every season has a purpose. You're growing. Seasons have to happen in order for you to grow. We can't stay in one season forever. If we stayed in spring forever, we would drown. We have to have those times of drying out, and having those winter seasons as well, where we can sit back and, reflect on what happened during spring and summer. How can I be better for this upcoming spring season? What seeds do I need to plant
So every season is definitely a winning season. It's all about your mindset and how you approach it.
So watch your thoughts, right?
Yes.
Because our thoughts direct us into the action that we're going to take. I love that.
Yes.
Have the mindset that says, I'm a winner. I'm declared the winner even while it's raining. I'm going to go out and play in the puddles.
Yes. Put on your rain boots.
Put on your rain boots. Let's go out and splash. Or go barefoot, right? Just dance in the rain.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is, like, now you can dance in the rain. Now you can play in the puddles because mama ain't going to say, girl, get out that rain. You're going to get sick. No, girl, dance in the rain. We're saying, girl, dance in the rain because you're going to overcome. This is your season. This is your time of increase. This is your time of renewal and refreshing. Dance in the rain. I dare you. I dare you.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Somebody needs to dance, but they're too down to do so. They can't even pick their legs up, but they need that dance because it will be refreshing. They need to go out and have some fun. They need to say, I can do this, but the cares of this life is choking the life out of them. What words of encouragement can you give to some woman who is in desperate need right now to know that she's not alone and that she can make it as she transitions from one season to the next?
Yeah, I think, that really, it's really hard. Being a person that has dealt with depression and days where I didn't even want to get out of the bed or like, whatever, like I'm not trying to do anything today. I just feel like, what's the point? You really have to find something to live for. I know, for me, it was my son, like, okay, if I can't do this for myself, who else can I do this for? Take one step at a time. If I can't get out of bed for myself, who can I get out of the bed for? Who can I go help? Find, some purpose in it. Sometimes that lifts you up as well, and then you realize, like, look, I'm actually doing it. I didn't want to do it, but I did because you're putting someone else, you're thinking of someone else first. Sometimes it's hard to think of yourself first because you feel so down, and not worth it. You're just so sad or depressed about what's going on. But putting someone else before yourself and, of course, combined with your faith, like that gives you strength to make it through.
Like they say on the airplane, it's been a reoccurring theme. Put your mask on first.
Yes.
Get the oxygen you need to succeed, and then you can help someone else. But don't quit.
Never.
Season your season with faith and gratitude. Wow. It sounds like you have given us the hope we need to continue to walk this journey out, to do another lap if we need to, and to learn from it, so that we can have the health and the well-being that we deserve so we can help others. So thank you for the words of encouragement and empowerment that you've shared with us. What I'd like to do is just take a moment and recap and summarize what you've shared to give people an opportunity to make sure they've written down some of the words of wisdom that you've shared with us today. Let's go back to the beginning, and one of the first things you shared was to pause. In every season, we need to take a moment. And the life that we seem to live in our culture says go, 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 but take a moment. Just be still. And as you're being still, hold on to your faith. Help is coming. You're not left there to die. Help is coming. You reminded us how important it is to put some season on it and to season the season that we're in with faith and gratitude. Be grateful. Remember, as you shared with us, pain brings about purpose. And there's purpose for each and every one of us. And purpose is way bigger than us. I really appreciate how you shared with us that we don't know what we don't know. And sometimes we think we know it all, but the truth is we don't know what we don't know. So we need help. We need help. We need help. We need people to help us. And one thing we need to do is to give ourselves grace while we grow. Because healthy things grow, and it takes the rain in order for us to grow. You gave us some powerful words, Tomika, when you said to us, be honest about where we are. Stop trying to hide it and cover it up. Talk about it. Ask for help. First, be honest with ourselves. You gave us some words of encouragement. You said persevere. Don't quit. Don't stop. Get it. Don't quit. You said find something to live for. And don't forget to take one step at a time. Listen, girl, this is your season. We want to remind you today that no matter what season you are in, this really is your season. So every day, we want you to wake up and then get up, get dressed, and show up. Why? Because there's greatness inside of you. And you know what? The world awaits your greatness. This, my sister, is your season.
When it comes to your health and well-being, you should never take a one-size-fits-all approach. Life affects your health, and your health affects your life. If you've been dealing with unresolved health concerns or life issues, it's time to take a holistic approach. As a certified holistic practitioner and life coach, Tomika Haynes is committed to getting to the root of the problem. Schedule a free 25-minute consultation with Tomika by calling 877-235-0373. Again, that's 877-235-0373, extension 910.
Stay tuned. Coming up next, RJ brings her special guest to the table for more authentic and down-to-earth conversations on courage.
Jessica Rowe uncovers her gift to empower, educate, and help her community when she fell in love with the works of nonprofits back in 2011. Now, this is where she quickly learned the importance of teaching others within her community. She has volunteered for more than 10 nonprofit organizations throughout the Los Angeles County area. She's participated in various community service projects consisting of mentoring and coaching the youth, managing volunteers, and revitalizing schools. As an inspirational speaker and author of A New Level Mindset, the journey of aspiring entrepreneurs rising out of fear into greatness, Jessica's mission is to help aspiring entrepreneurs turn their ideas into action by providing helpful strategies to achieve their goals of full-time entrepreneurs. Be sure to get your pen and paper ready. You're going to want to take notes as Jessica inspires us to live with a new level mindset. please help me and join me in welcoming our keynote speaker for today, Jessaca Rowe.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. This is Jessaca Rowe. Thank you so much for being here, and I am excited to be here to share with you inspirational and motivating information about entrepreneurship. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, it is still your season to be great. So let's go ahead and get started. Your life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. Studying and researching entrepreneurship is what changed my life. It is what helped me to step into my greatness and take advantage of an opportunity that will help me to create an abundant life for my family. Now, at one point, I was in the midst of suffering from anxiety and depression after not being able to find a job that I desired in the criminal justice field. I was crying all the time. I stopped socializing with friends and family, and this devastated me to my core. But I knew I couldn't give up because I had to push forward and rise out of the darkness. I was introduced to an organization called Heal a Woman to Heal a Nation, and they helped me to see that my life was worthy of living and that I could rebuild the confidence that I had lost. They told me that my greatness was still available. Through entrepreneurship, I could use my gifts, talents, and skills to make an impact and create a life of abundance and freedom. Now, what I learned from entrepreneurship, it helped me to regain my confidence and begin to return to feeling worthy and feeling whole again. It was my season. During my research of entrepreneurship, I discovered the characteristics and habits that I needed to become a full-time successful entrepreneur. Now, after gathering all of this information and following many business coaches and experts in this field, all on social media, I decided to write a book about my findings. And I figured, so many people were out here reaching and searching and climbing this ladder to entrepreneurship. I wanted to name this book A New Level Mindset. I figured that was the perfect name for the book because that's where my mind was going, into a new level of mindset. And there it was. And this is exactly what I needed to start the path to entrepreneurship and help others start their path to entrepreneurship, because it is a scary thing. It's an intimidating thing because it is a lot to take in. And we see a lot of experts and coaches online living that laptop lifestyle. But we don't know the things that they had to go through to get to where they are to be successful. And I learned of those things that they had to figure out and find out, and characteristics, traits that they had to develop to become that expert in the field of entrepreneurship. But I learned that people, when they wanted to start their businesses, they lack the necessary tools to get it started. It's more than just building a business through marketing and branding. It's all about building yourself, and that's what I learned. I had to build myself, and you have to understand who you need to become and what you need to do so that you can have the life you desire as an entrepreneur. So I gathered a good handful of characteristics, but today I'm going to talk to you about 3 characteristics that lays the foundation of the starting entrepreneurship while you are that aspiring entrepreneur. So the first thing is you have to have a growth mindset, and that's what I had to do with myself. I had to get my mind growing. I couldn't have my mind stand on the same beliefs that I had before, especially while I was going through anxiety and depression. I just felt that I wasn't worthy enough. I felt that nothing else was going to happen for me but just to have a job, and that was it. So in order to start embarking on entrepreneurship and learning more, I had to allow my mind to grow. So we must let the limiting beliefs that we have, we must let them go. We cannot continue to believe that we are not worthy when a challenge or a setback comes our way. We must continue to pursue this dream against all odds. We have to open our mind to all opportunities and possibilities that come with entrepreneurship. Now, this is going to require that you become uncomfortable with achieving goals that you once thought were impossible. And I think that is just powerful. You know, being uncomfortable with achieving goals that you once thought were impossible. So think about that. Think about if you just start persevering and moving forward and looking at goals that you've had in a notebook laying for years or, you know, for months, and you've been afraid to pursue them because you've had limiting beliefs, you have a fixed mindset. So just think, if you start pursuing those goals can become possible. And once you master this characteristic of having a growth mindset, any type of defeat that comes your way, it'll be temporary. It won't last long because you know your mind is open to growth and challenge and change. And this is a part of change. Like, you know, your life, it gets better by change. You have to start putting in the work, and you have to start doing what's necessary to see your life start growing in the direction you want it to grow. The next characteristic that I think this characteristic is the most important one, is having confidence. And without this, we cannot persevere as entrepreneurs to the many levels, because you have aspiring entrepreneurs, you have those who are just starting up, you have some mid-levels, and then you have the experts. And the only way to get to those levels is by increasing your confidence level. So this is why it was so important for me to overcome my depression and my anxiety. I had to do this so I can start. I had to let that go so I can start building my confidence. And I encourage you to do the things that you've been afraid of doing, but you know deep down inside that doing these things is what you need to move yourself into greatness. These are the things that you need to do to say, hey, this is my season. This is my season of changing my life. Now, I know that it's a process, and there are times where you're going to stop, and there's times when you're going to start back again, and that's okay, because as long as you don't give up, you will be fine. I stopped and started so many times, but I didn't give up. I kept going. And the last characteristic I want to speak on is clarity. So once you start mastering your confidence and you're mastering your growth mindset, you need to become clear. As an entrepreneur, as you begin the journey into entrepreneurship, what impact do you want to have on people? Who do you want to help? Who do you want to serve? Who needs your product? Who needs the service? Who needs what you have? You want to go out there and just get out there and find people who need your product or service. Now, family and friends, that's okay. They're great. They're great startups because they also can give you referrals, but please don't rely solely on your family and friends. You have to do research. And like I said, I studied and researched entrepreneurship, and researching your audience, your targeted audience. I mean, that is the like I said, target. That is the thing that you need to do, because those are the people who will keep coming back to you, and they will give you referrals. You have to make a sort of a tribe of people who see your vision, who see where you're going, and who see the impact that you're making, and they want to be a part of that. So, yes, please go out there and search your targeted audience, and don't necessarily rely on family and friends to help you get through it. And also, you need to know, what is your why? Why are you doing this? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Because it cannot be for money alone. Just, I want to make money on my own time, or money this or money that. No, it has to be for a purpose, a reason. And my why for helping aspiring entrepreneurs, and that's my targeted audience, aspiring entrepreneur. But my why is because entrepreneurship is on the rise, and there are people who need to be empowered to get started. There are people who are sitting with piles and piles of notebooks and ideas just laying around, and they want to get started, but they don't know how to get started. They just need that push to get started. They need someone to tell them, hey, you got this. You can do this. They need someone to help them to build their confidence, to help them get clear, to help them develop a growth mindset. So that is my why. And also, you need to change your habits becoming an entrepreneur. And this is something that I had to learn really quick. We must change the habits that will no longer serve us as we embark on this journey. And two of the habits that I had to change, and habits that if you haven't already changed, you need to surround yourself around supportive people. You cannot continue to tell your story or your journey, your dreams or your goals to people who are not supportive, people who are not listening, people who don't want to help you. And you can do, if you don't have that, because some people have a circle of people that they can rely on, but if you don't have that circle that you can rely on, that you can go to and just talk to people without them judging you, go to networking events. Going to networking events helped me out tremendously. It helped me meet a new crowd of people who understand where I was going with a new level mindset, where I was going with my book. So you want to go to plenty networking events in your local area, on the outside, of your area, different cities and counties. Just go out there and let people know who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it. Just let them know, and you will be amazed at the amount of support that you get from people because they understand. They're on that level. So make sure you surround yourself with helpful people, supportive people, positive people, and some people who are going to give you that feedback that you need to help boost you up and help you understand the things that you need to do. So some constructive criticism, don't be afraid of that. Don't shy away from that because that is something that we all need. And another thing, I should say, maybe the third thing you need to do with your habits is ask. Speak up. Ask for what you want. Ask for what you need to help you get your business up and going. Ask the people that you're newly networking around. Ask them. Ask them for advice. Ask them for referrals or resources or references, whatever it is that you need. If you're in that type of circle, that supportive circle, it shouldn't be a problem with them, giving you the information that you need or referring you to somebody to give you the information that you need. So remember to, speak up. Ask for what you want. Like they said, a closed mouth doesn't get fed, and people cannot read your mind. They may know that you're in business or you're in process of starting your business, but don't expect them to automatically know what you need because they don't. Only you know what you need. And again, for me, I had to come out of my shell and start asking in different Facebook groups that I was a part of. I'm like in maybe 30 or 40, 50 Facebook groups, but I said, hey, some people in here may have some information that I need. So let me start asking. Let me just type the question. And I would get responses, and people just showing me to different resources on the internet or helping me with people that were in my area. And these people I were asking were in another state, and they're saying, oh, you're in this state? I know somebody in the state that you're in who can help you. So remember to just ask. And let me see, the fourth thing that you need to do is put your business in your budget. because you cannot free your way to entrepreneurship. There is an investment or investments that come along with this. Now, many aspiring entrepreneurs work a 9-to-5 job, and that is how they're making their money right now. And sometimes, you're going to have to dip into the income that you have from your 9-to-5 and put that in your budget to build your business. It's some things that you may have to cut out, like, hair, nails, or hanging out with the girls for the weekend, or going on that trip. You will have to put the monies that you normally or would normally spend on things of that nature, put that back into your business. Put that into your business to help it grow and help you build. Because the networking events, they may cost, who knows, $25, $30, $40. And that money you would normally spend on something else, you would need to put into the networking event that is, that you've researched and you say, okay, this is a good fit, I'm interested in that. Put your money towards that, because that's the best thing you can do. And I know for me, I had to put my money into getting a monthly workspace as I was writing my book. I had to get a monthly workspace because being at home and trying to write and having teenagers and stuff around, and I couldn't do it. I had to be in a quiet space where I was able to go to 24/7. So that's where my investment, went to. And now if you just simply cannot take away from your income, if possible, do a side hustle. Uber, Lyft, Postmates, DoorDash. If you're a cook or you bake cakes, if you, what are those gift baskets, for the holidays that come up, get creative. Use your creativity to find other ways to make income so you can invest in your business. It is possible nowadays to do it, whereas before it probably wasn't, but now it's just a golden opportunity. And again, it's your season, it's your time. You can make this happen for you. The next thing you would need to do, and I believe this is number 5, start setting goals and sticking to them. Now, when I got my workspace, Saturdays and Sundays was my goal to go and write 3 to 5 pages of my book. I had to set that goal, and I had to stick to it. And with that came focus and discipline. Not being on my phone all the time, getting on my laptop and pushing out those pages, because I had a deadline of getting my book out by the end of 2017. And by this time, it was summer 2017. And I wanted to have my book out. So I had to set the goals, and I had to stick to them, and I had to stay focused, and I had to stay disciplined. So on Saturdays, early mornings, as early as I can get up by being a Saturday, I got up and I went to that workspace, and I stayed there until I cranked out 3 to 5 pages. That's all a part of the entrepreneurship game. You have to set goals on what you need to do in order to build your business so it can move forward. If you don't stick to those goals and you're not consistent with the goals of just doing the basics of what you need to do to build your business, you won't succeed as your business starts to grow, because you don't have that discipline, you don't have that focus, and you're not being consistent and sticking to your goals. So, like I said, habits, we have to change those habits. And it's going to take time, especially if, you're not used to doing that. And for me, again, I wasn't perfect in doing it. It was some days that I'm like, oh, I don't feel like going, but I knew I needed to go. If I didn't go Saturday, I went Sunday. If I didn't go Sunday, I went Saturday. I had to do it. I had to get it done. And the last thing we need to do with the habits is take risks. Now, the organization, Heal a Woman to Heal a Nation, that helped me to find my gifts, talents, and skills, They were in Baltimore, Maryland. And I went to their annual Unlimited You conference. And that was a risk for me because I didn't know anybody personally in Baltimore. So, but I knew I needed to be in Baltimore so I can meet the ladies I met them online through Facebook. And I had conversations with them on and off over the months. But I knew I needed to be there. So it was a big risk for me to take the money that I had, which was me putting it in my budget because I know I needed to do this, and fly all the way to Baltimore, and I'm in California. But it was worth the risk. So as you're building your business, look at the risks that come along with it. Is it worth it? Will it enhance your business? Will it help you grow personally? Personal development is really everything, that I'm talking about in here. And taking a risk in building your business, will it help your business develop, and will it help you develop personally? And now I'm going to run back real quick through those habits. So first I talked about changing your surroundings, looking for support from like-minded people. The third thing I talked about was asking for help. The fourth thing was put your business in your budget. The fifth thing I talked about was setting goals, sticking to them, and being focused and disciplined on them. And the last thing I talked about was taking risks. All of this is necessary in order for you to be that successful entrepreneur. Now, the last thing I want to speak about is the value of volume. So while starting the business and, doing the things that you need to do, there are going to be setbacks and there are going to be challenges, but don't give up on the first thing that doesn't go right. Don't give up on the second thing that doesn't go right. Continue to move forward. Continue to press through. Maybe you need to go back and change some things. Maybe you need to go back and say, am I operating on a fixed mindset or am I operating on a growth mindset? Could be the reason why things are not happening. Look at your habits. Are you being focused? Are you being disciplined? Are you getting that support from the people you need to get support from? Are you taking more risks? So sometimes you have to go back and tweak some things and change some things, but don't give up. The value of volume as you're building your business is priceless. And there are so many celebrities and corporations and businesses that we know of today that are household names, and it took one person or a group of people or two people to say, we want to build this. We want to introduce this into the world. We want to make an impact on it, when we're not going to give up. Now, I read that Starbucks was turned down 200 and something times for a loan to start before they got that okay. So that lets you know how important it was to the owners of Starbucks to get Starbucks out. And now we know Starbucks is everywhere. It's all over. You cannot drive down your street without seeing a Starbucks. Walt Disney, he was told in his previous job before he created Walt Disneyland and Disney World that he was not creative enough. He didn't have enough imagination, and he was let go from his job. Now, imagine if Walt Disney said, oh, maybe they're right, and just stopped. Look what came about because he kept going. Oprah Winfrey, she was told that she was too emotional as a journalist, and they fired her as well. But now we know Oprah. We don't even need to know Oprah Winfrey. We know just Oprah. She kept going. She didn't let that one thing stop her. And J.K. Rowling, who is the author of Harry Potter, she was told, she was rejected by so many publishers, but it was one publisher that told her, okay, we'll go ahead and publish the book, but, you're going to need to get a job on the side because there are not that many people out there buying children's books. Look where she is now with Harry Potter. Look at the name. Look at what it is and look at what it's about and look at what she's done. So that's the value of volume. When you are embarking on manifesting your dreams and pursuing your goals, you have to keep going. You can't stop. You can't let people tell you it's not possible. You're not worthy. Those people, you just have to, put a cloud over them and push them to the side and work diligently towards your goals and your dream because it's possible. And nowadays, like I said, entrepreneurship is on the rise. So technology is available. Technology is here. You can, just find just about anything on social media, on the internet to help you start building your business, help you get branding, help you get marketing, help you go to the next levels of your business. But you have to make sure that you know your why, you know who you're impacting, you have a growth mindset, your confidence, that you're constantly building on your confidence, that you're constantly practicing building your confidence, and again, that you have clarity. And also, even though, this may seem like a lot, you're taking notes and you're thinking, make sure in between that you get some rest, that you make some time for yourself, that you make downtime for yourself. And that's what I learned that I needed to do. I needed to start practicing self-care amongst all this. Even though this is my goals and my dreams, and I love doing this, I love helping people get to the next level, I still needed to care for myself and help myself. So make sure that you are practicing meditation. Meditation is a great thing. Massages, getting a weekly massage, or just going on a walk or a drive, or just taking time for yourself and not forgetting your loved ones either. Spend time with family, close family and friends, and kind of, relax and, chill and socialize. But don't forget your why. Don't forget your dream. Don't forget your goals. Don't get sidetracked, because it's easy to do that. It's easy to get sidetracked. But remember your why. Remember it's your season. Remember it's your time. And remember that your life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by you changing over a period of time. And I am a quote lover. I love quotes. And I listen to Les Brown all the time. He is a great speaker. He's a great motivator. And I heard him say a quote that really helped me, that really helps me to keep going anytime I'm having my down days or days where I'm not just feeling it. And he said, some of the best ideas are in the grave.
Do you have a dream in your heart that you desire to see come to pass? Are you an aspiring entrepreneur? If so, then this is your season. Author and inspirational speaker Jessica Rowe has made it her mission to help aspiring entrepreneurs turn their ideas into action by providing helpful strategies to achieve their goals of full-time entrepreneurs. If you're ready to break out of your shell and shine, let Jessica Rowe help you discover a new level mindset. Contact Jessica at 877-235-0373, extension 913.
Best ideals are in the grave. Wow, were we not wowed by words of wisdom from Miss Jessica as she shared with us not just strategies, but success strategies on how to recognize, number one, this is your season, and it's time to have a new level mindset. Wasn't today absolutely amazing? Like, don't you feel so full? You know how you've had like a really full, good meal and all you could do is sit there and go, oh, my goodness. Well, today we want to invite you to do more than just sit there. So we're going to give you the takeaways for today so that you can take them with you. Sharon started us off, and she talked about it being our season, and she reminded us it's okay to be in this season. And while you're here, celebrate it. Angela said greatness comes in the pressure. Angela said greatness is in the pressure. So whatever you do, don't stop. Things might be boiling, but don't stop. Venus said, season your season with prayer. You know how we put a little salt on the food? She said, put some prayer on your season. And don't forget to celebrate the small wins. I love how Athena said, don't hang up. Girl, hang on. Help is on the way. Tomika said, season your season with grace. Season your season with grace. Be honest about where you are and then grow in grace. Give yourself some grace, she said. And Jessica closed it up today by reminding us how important it is to take care of ourselves. She shared with us that it's important for us to share our gift with the world and don't take them to the grave. My question for you, what's your takeaway? We invite you to visit us at www.worldwidewomenspeakers.com and share your takeaway with us. If we post your takeaway on our page, then we'll send you a free ebook. So head on over to worldwidewomenspeakers.com and share your takeaway with us. And then we want to give you a call to action. No way do we want you to spend the whole day with us and then sit there and go, oh, that was good. We want you to get up out of your seat and move your feet. Take one strategy, one tool, one word of encouragement, and let us know what word, what tool, or what strategy you're going to commit to move forward and take one step at a time. And remember, you don't have to walk alone. Whether you're in a cool season where everything is going great or a tough season and you feel like everything is going wrong, or perhaps you're in a hot season and you find yourself sweating everything and everybody because you're super stressed. No matter what the temperature is, this is your season. If you need help, we are willing to walk with you. Contact us today for a consultation. Visit us at worldwidewomenspeakers.com. That's worldwidewomenspeakers.com, and connect with the speaker of your choice. Finally, we want to invite you to join us and invite a friend for our July 26th Rebrand Your Life and Live teleconference. We look forward to seeing you there.
Whether you are looking to encourage, educate, inspire, or motivate, hiring a worldwide women's speaker is the perfect way to wow your audience. With such a wide range of talented speakers to choose from, finding the right person can be a bit challenging. That's why we are here to help you. We have the right speaker for your conference, training, and women's event. Contact us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com. That's www.worldwidewomenspeakers.com.